Come on out. All right, boys. All right. Yeah, as you guys know, one of the worst hurt recorded hit Florida the other day. So like everything in this house got reset. So it's all funky right now. It's a mess. But we survived. We're good. Minimal damage. What I was saying was, Tone, how's fantasy football going? Because for me, it's absolute dog shit right now. I'm having one of the worst. Like, I mean, I'm having a super mid year. Back up a bit from the mic. You're saying? Yeah, bro. So we're good. Like, oh, it's probably the mic. I gotta turn the gain down. Hold on. Let me do that real quick. All right. Let me know now, guys. Good. Yeah, I mean, bro, Tone, I'm just going through a lot in fantasy, bro. Like, I lost to a Bears team there day. I have Tyreek Hill, who's not doing shit. I got A-Chain, who just got concussion. I have DK Metcalf, who can't break 10 points. And yeah, it's just not very good right now. It's not good. It's one of those years, bro. One of those years. But yeah, so we had a really bad hurricane. Fortunate for us, I live on the East Coast, so I'm on like the southeast coast, like a little bit north of Miami. So not a direct hit for us, but crazy. Like for the first time in my life, no joke, I've been through probably 6 or 7 hurricanes. There was so many tornadoes that it was actually like scary. I mean, I think they said like it was a record of like 160 tornadoes actually touched the ground in Florida the other day, which is just insane, bro. So like we were watching the news at the house with my parents, and the guy was like, "Oh, there's a tornado that touched ground in Wellington," and that's where I'm from. So me and my dad, like, we just went outside and like we looked over to the left, and no joke, bro, like there was the tornado, and it was actually crazy, like to like see that. Luckily, it was moving in a different direction, so like we knew we were good. But if you guys know anything about storms, like a lot of you guys are up north, you probably don't know too much about like hurricanes and shit. But like tornadoes is actually what's like the scariest part, because they're so unpredictable and they cause so much destruction, like in just a small, like, localized spot. So it was kind of nerve wracking to see. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this well, but like, look at that, bro. That's like some Stranger Things shit. Like, no joke. Your boy lives in Wellington? Oh, I didn't know that. That's where I'm born and raised. Like, that's some like Stranger Things shit, bro. Is that not crazy? Like, I don't know if you guys have been on social media and like that you saw like some of those large outlets posting about it, but like all those large outlets were posting about like, oh, like tornado in Wellington. Like that was literally right next to my crib, bro. Like, no joke. So that was crazy. I mean, you live in fucking Arizona, bro. Shit is literally, you live in the desert. But yeah, man, we're all good. Family's good. Some of my family on the West Coast had to evacuate. So, I mean, I don't know what the extent of their damage might be when they get home. Praying everything's good there. But man, anyone in Florida, man, praying for you guys. It's been hell the last 2 weeks with storms with Florida back to backs. Like, I heard there's another one. So like, let's pray that doesn't hit Florida and affect us too much. But family's good. House is good. Car is good. Everything's good, man. So I can't complain, can't cry too much. But appreciate you guys popping out. Nah, not really any flooding. Like, we live more inland, so we don't get too much flooding. I'm sure there was storm surge like more towards the coast, especially West Coast, but nothing dramatic for us. Just like a lot of tree. We have a really big tree in my backyard that fell, and it fell like right next to the crib. So we got lucky, bro. We got really lucky. So like, I was out helping yesterday, like chopping it up. Lamar was good, my boy. Chopping it up and shit. It's just a mess, man. Like, luckily, again, it didn't hit us directly because that was a strong ass storm, and so I feel bad for the West Coast because they got it back to back. So, but that's hurricane season in Florida, man. It's hit or miss some years. So, but everything's good, family's good, house is good. Thank God, you know what I mean. So, got to give thanks to God on that one. But guys, appreciate you guys popping out. Appreciate you guys showing love. I really do hope, like, for the most part, you guys that have been tuning in on the regular basis, I hope you guys have been enjoying it, man. Like, this is something that, like I told you when we first started, is a new journey trying to build it up, trying to be creative, trying to bring new ideas, new topics, just to like give you guys a different form of content within the 2K community, outside of, just gameplay. Like I've told you guys in the past, we want to branch this off down the road into like generalized things. Dirk, my boy, can't wait to have you on, dude. I want to branch this out to be more than just 2K soon. So open to like your guys' feedback, open to your guys' ideas. I want to do like some real life shit. Like I got like, bro, me and my friends like from this era, we have so much stories. So like I want to maybe like implement a segment where it's like bro talk, like with all my my boys from the crib, where we have like 3 or 4 of us on and we talk about like just different life stories and experiences and shit like that. I'm just trying to think of like unique things that are different. Like I told you guys, like I don't look at the views anymore. I honestly don't ever look. I can't even tell you like what we do. We just try to be consistent. We try to bring you guys quality. We try to be creative. We've been consistent on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, IG Reels, all that shit. So like, I'm gonna try to do some new stuff as well. Yeah, the league shit. I mean, the thing about the league shit, if you're not in tune with the league shit, you won't really understand it. Honey Badger. It's just it was also like such a big part of what I did that there's a lot of like untold stuff that I want to talk about. But that will obviously fizzle away like once we kind of get through most of it. So obviously we'll still do 2K stuff. If you guys don't know, next week we have the tournament, so we'll have some stuff about the tournament next week. But I'll give you guys a rundown real quick. So like today we have Untold Stories of 2K League Volume 2. So if you guys were here for the first one, we had like Day Fry, Malik, Crush to talk about like stories that went on in the 2K League that you guys never got to hear about. So whether that's like fights or like whatever, like basically peeling back the curtain of like what actually went on like as a player. Like I want you guys to kind of hear that side of it. You got a Discord talks for the podcast? Yeah. I think we have it as I don't even know if we have it as a command. If we don't, I think Mar might be the only one actually in there. So if we don't, Mar, can you just like make that like a command? But no one join it right now because I think we're actually like in like a public server, which would not be good. So yeah, don't join it right now. But yeah. So for this week, guys, today is going to be volume 2 of Untold Stories. We're going to have on Dirk. If you guys know Dirk, we're going to have Hood on, and then we're going to have Rigby. So Hood, obviously a good friend of mine. Rigby has a lot of stories about the Hornets, some shit that went on that he's going to talk about. And then next week, Tuesday, we'll have another episode. This one, I think I'm going to do, I want to bring in the OG guys from Eyeball. Like when I first created Eyeball, like the OG dudes that know me from the very, very, very beginning. Unfortunately, a lot of them aren't a part of the brand anymore, but they were such a vital part of the brand and a vital part of like my success and like just my story. So I want to bring those guys on to like, I don't know what the right word is here, like pay homage to them and like just show respect and kind of give you guys like how we started it all and like where it got to. So we're going to have, I think Tuesday, we're still confirming it, but Tuesday we're going to do like an OG Eyeball episode with the 2K17, like basically founders. I would love to have Steph on, bro, but he's not an Eyeball guy. And 2, like I'll figure something out with him because that's my guy. But so it's going to be like me, Shaq, if you guys know Shaq. We're going to bring in Moolah. If you remember Moolah, he was like the OG old head, such a good dude. And then my boy Will. So, like, I think it's going to be a fire one. Like, again, these dudes are, like, really important to my story and, like, to the just creation of Eyeball and everything. So, I think that'd be a fun one. And then Thursday next week, Shaq B. And then Thursday next week is going to be our tournament episode. So, Friday next week is the start of the tournament, the 18th to the 20th. So, Friday or Thursday, we'll do an episode that's basically all tournament based. So, like, we'll do like a power rankings that we think going into the tournament of the teams that have entered. We'll do like a March Madness like bracket reveal where we reveal like sections of the bracket and then we'll show you the full bracket after release it all. Maybe we'll bring up some different teams to kind of talk about them and see like what they think about their matchups going into Friday. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so the 18th, 19th, and 20th is all tournament. Like we're going to be live all day basically, like probably 6 hours a day. I mean, maybe not that long, but 4 to 6 hours, probably Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all tournament. It's looking like we're going to have 64 teams. like a 2,000, like, you know, probably like around a $2,000 pot, somewhere around that. So it's going to be fire. If you guys have ever watched my tournaments before, it's always quality shit, you know? So I'm excited for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have Chaz on, actually. Chaz is going to be on the stream on Sunday as well. So you guys will see Chaz during the tournament. So that will be a fun one. That's going to be a fulfilled weekend. So again, moving forward, we'll start to branch off a little bit from 2K stuff. We'll always have it, but I want to mix in like other stuff too. So like a funny one, actually, my barber, I talked to my barber. He wants to come on and like give me a haircut live on like episode, like a haircut live, and then sit down with you guys, like me and him, and talk about like building your brand and stuff. He's a really well-known barber in Florida who's done really, really well. So he just wants to come on and spit knowledge, and then there's a lot of different things I have planned. So again, guys, feel free to like always leave comments or like leave me feedback or whatever. Like I'm open to all of it. And I want this to like progress, and you guys are a big part of that. So as always, going in tonight, like please feel free to be active in the chat. If you have questions, if you have a topic, whatever you want brought up, please like put it in the chat, and I'll do my best to implement it during the show. All right, let's jump into the tournament. Yeah, guys. So as we talked about, tournament coming up next week, the 18th through the 20th. Spots are very, very limited, bro. So I think we're down to 13 remaining spots. 13 remaining spots. 5 days left to sign up. I believe at midnight tonight, general registration ends. I feel like you and my boy have the same barber. Who's he go to? Who's your boy? How do you have a boy that lives in Wellington and you never told me, Tone? Like, what the fuck's wrong, bro? What's going on, bro? Like, I probably know your boy. I mean, I lived here my whole life. But yeah, so I think general registration ends tonight. So after tonight, it's going to be $60 for last call. Unless like I really like you, maybe I'll hook you up. But if I don't, $60, bro. So 13 spots left. You guys DM me on Twitter if you want to get in. I'll make sure you guys have a spot. Like I said, it's going to be a fun one. We got a lot of good competition, content creators, the whole nine. So I'm excited for it. It's, we put a lot of effort into it. We put a lot of work into it. The quality is always going to show when it comes to that weekend. Mar has some really, working on some cool ideas for the show as well to like just give it a different like feel and flair and just, I don't know, So I'm excited for that. So make sure you guys get your entry in if you want to play. Of course, we're going to have featured games, all that kind of stuff. Of course, we're going to be commentating it. We'll have guests on. We'll do all that stuff. We'll do interviews during it, like with the whole nine. Lamar, you know me, bro. Like we're always trying to raise the bar. So like I said, Mar's working on some cool shit on the back end for the show. So we'll see what he comes up with. I don't even want to know what he comes up with because like I just want to be surprised just like you guys. You know what I mean? So anything I put in Mar's hand, I trust that he's going to kill it, and he always does kill it. So I'm excited for that. It's going to be a good tournament. It's going to be a good show that whole weekend. So I'm excited for that. Yeah, so get your registration in. General registration ends tonight at midnight. So after tonight, it's going to be $60 a team for last call. We have 13 spots left. It might be lower than that now. I haven't checked, but it might be a little bit lower than that now. So if you do want to get in, make sure you guys get in. Yeah. All right. So, Mar, do we have anyone ready yet? I got to do the read off, but just curious. All right, cool. So real quick, guys, as always, gotta do my little read off for our guys over at Gamer Saloon. If you guys don't know, want to give a huge shout out to get our official tournament partner, Gamer Saloon. If you want real cash prizes playing 2K and a bunch of other games, Gamer Saloon is the spot. These guys have been around since 2006 and have submitted themselves as a legitimate spot for 2K tournaments and wagers. They've awarded more than $110 million. $110 million, guys, since they launched. Gamer Saloon just announced a completely free weekly tournament series with tournaments launching every single Monday. So exclamation Gamer Saloon in the chat. Use our link and go sign up to play in free weekly tournaments and get locked in with 2K wagers or other games. So go check it out, guys. Been working with Gamer Saloon for a long time. I always mention this. They are A1. They've always done right by me, and I respect them a lot. So give them a, check them out. Use our link. It helps us. It helps them. They do wagers on 2K and a ton of other games as well, guys. So if you're into that kind of thing, please go check it out. Another update for you guys on me. I don't know if I told you guys this yet, and I guess I'll spill the beans a little bit. Some of you guys might know. Do you want that Discord to be a command? I do. Yes. And you could just make it like, I don't know. Just make it Discord because it's like really like the only Discord I use or I have. So I don't know if I announced it yet. It's definitely not announced on social media yet. So I'll just spill it here to you guys first because you guys are you. We got a 1v1 me partnership. So if you guys aren't familiar with what 1v1 me is, they're an app that you can wager and basically you can bet on people that are playing matches in 2K. So like I'm going to be playing in 2v2s and 3v3s against other creators that are partners on 1v1 me. And then you'll actually be able to go on the app and bet real money that like you think I'll win or you think they'll win or like you think I'll 2-0 or like whatever. So we're going to have those matches live on stream as well coming up in the future. I'm still going through like the onboarding process and all that stuff. So it's probably going to be like at least a week or two. But in the near future, we'll have that set up to where we'll be doing like actual wagers. I don't even know if it's called a wager because like I'm not really wagering. Like we'll have matches that you guys can bet on to actually win money. And then if you sign up using my code once I have it, you get like a free bonus bet as well. So it's pretty cool actually, man. If you haven't checked it out, like I definitely think you guys go check out 1v1 me. It's a pretty neat app. Like what they do is unique. So you can actually like watch the games live on the app. Like you can bet on the app. They do Madden, they do 2K, they do Warzone. Like they do so many different things. It's actually a really good idea, and they're starting to get bigger and bigger. So I'm excited to be a part of that. I think just like wagering and gambling is a big part of like what piques people's interest besides like the NFL, because God bless, I'm getting cooked on that shit. So yeah, we'll have that in the near future, guys. So look out for that. It's gonna that'll be fun. For the most part, I think in 3v3, I'm playing with Clutch. If you guys know who Clutch is, it's gonna be me, Clutch, and I think Drippy. But then we also have like KP on the roster. If like Drippy doesn't play, KP will play. Not Elite Shooter is one of our other guards. And then we have Unguardable from the 2K League also. So like I think Unguardable will probably be like my main 2v2 guard. And then for threes, like it'll be a mixture of like Clutch, Drippy, KP, Elite. Like we'll just figure out who's available and whatnot. So it'll be fun. I'm excited for that, guys. A lot of stuff planned, a lot of stuff coming up in the future. Like I said, trying to be consistent here. My waiter's here with my dinner. Hold on, let me put the dinner down, bro. Yo, shout out that boy Z, man. You know what I'm saying? That's that real service right there, man. That's that real service right there, man. Yo, good looks. Yo, next time, fucking leave the Brussels sprouts out, all right? Yeah, I've been on the Hard Rock app, bro. I've been getting fried, bro. Fried. Let me see if this shit's good, though, real quick. Oh, damn, that shit's spicy as fuck, boy. That shit's good, though. All right, my boy Dirk's ready. My fucking bro Hood's ready. Let's bring the guys in. Let's bring the fucking guys in, man.
Let's bring the boys in.
Let's bring the fucking guys in. Yo, what you sipping on right there? What is that?
Hey, this stream is 21 plus. I'm allowed to drink.
Yeah, bro. Fucking pop it out, bro. What is that?
Some sour beer. Berry Monkey. You gotta try it out.
You're sour. Is that like a local spot or is that like a local thing?
It's at Publix, bro. My girl got it, and ever since I think I started drinking it like a month ago. Haven't got another beer since.
Hey man, listen.
Sour beers are fire. They have a lot of those.
I need to start drinking because I don't know, man. I can't win money on bets. I can't do shit right. I need to start drinking. I don't know.
I haven't won in gambling in probably like over a year, and that's slots.
Oh my God,
sports bets. I'm on a slump, brother. I stopped,
Dirk.
And I did just open up a casino 30 minutes from me too, which is the worst.
Dirk, I got a story for you, Dirk, and Hood knows, so he'll laugh at this. I went to the casino last weekend, right?
Oh man.
I tried to get Hood to go because Hood lives like right there, right, basically right there. So I tried to get Hood to go. He didn't go, and I respect him for not going because I shouldn't have went. So this is a story, right? So the Hard Rock where we live, they just opened up a sports book section, which is sick. Like it's the TVs everywhere, blackjack tables all around. It's like, I mean, it's literally like a bro's paradise. So I pull out 260. I'm like, let me get on the blackjack table. I get on the blackjack table. I lose 260 in probably 3 minutes. Record time. I mean, it was the fastest I've ever lost 260 in my life. And so I you know, keep in mind, like it's a 45-minute drive for me. So I said, there's no way I just drove 45 minutes, got killed for 260, and I'm just going to get in my car and leave. Like that, like no fucking shot. So I was like, you know what? Let me go back. I put out another 200. And I told myself, I'm not going to sit there and just try to nickel and dime back up to 260, right? Like I just got to let the fuckers hang. I'm putting 200 down on one hand, and I'm either getting killed or we're back in business. So I put 200 down on one hand. I put 200 down on one hand. I hit that fucker. We back in business, baby. So now I'm down whatever, $50. So now I'm playing like a little smarter, right? $50 hands, $100 hands. I'm hitting my double downs when I need to. I get up to like, maybe 700. So I'm up like 250 basically. And so at that point, I'm like, you start having conversations in your head, right? Like, all right, is this where I just leave? Or like, do I just, do I try to hit that 1K? So of course, like being the dumb person that I am and everyone else is, I try to go for 1K. So I put down $100 hand. I get 11 versus a 5. And anyone that plays blackjack in the chat or even you guys, you don't just play that normal. You got to double it down. I mean, you just have to double it down. So I doubled it down, and the lady flips over like a fucking 3 or some shit. And and then she gets like a 21. So now I'm down 200. And now at that point, it's like, well, fuck it. Let me just try to go for the gold here. And now I lose everything. I'm back down to 0. I call Hood, and I said, Hood, listen, this is a story.
Dirk, this is where the story gets great, bro.
I said, listen, I'm down 500, 600. I said, there's just no way I just walk out of this casino down 500, right? Like, I got to at least try to have some sort of redemption. So basically, I convinced myself and I convinced my friend that we're both going to take out 500. We're going to combine it, and we're going to put it on either red or black on roulette in the high rollers section. So I walk around the casino. I talk to 5 different people I've never met in my life. I walk up to them. I say, I don't want to have a full conversation. You just tell me red or black. And I took votes, basically. And I called Hood, and Hood gave me a vote too. And Hood's vote was red. The last lady I saw going into the high limit was like a lady that worked there. I said, yo, red or black? She said, go black. I said, fuck it, 3-2 on black. So I go in there. Everyone's looking at me crazy. I put $1,000 in chips down on black. Everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy? I said, yo, like, I'm like, I do this shit every day. So I put down fucking $1,000 on black. And no joke, bro, that ball must have spun for fucking 30 minutes, bro. That ball must have spun for 30 minutes. And that bitch, I swear to God, hit every fucking corner of the black box. Every corner, bro, and then bounced to red. Bounced to fucking red. And then my boy who put the 500 with me was like not at the table. He was looking a little bit like, trying to see what happened. And he looks over like, does one of these things like, what a hit. And I'm like, yeah, man. Like, like now we're down. At that point, I leave. I'm down 500 or whatever. He's down. Oh, no, I'm down 1,000. He's down 1,000. Yeah, that's my long story about the casino, dude. And I call Hood back, and he's like, go ahead.
No, that's why they got the 1-800-bets-off numbers for people like that. And like me,
bro,
too,
you know what it is, bro?
The same way.
You know what my dad always tells me? That's like, it's just so fucking like, it's so right. He always tells me there's a reason those casinos are so nice and they keep building. And I'm like, you're fucking right. But you know what? We're going back again in a week or two. Fuck it. We don't give a fuck. What's life if you're not gambling, chat? You know what I'm saying? You got to live on the edge a little bit. What are you going to do? Pull your money in savings? Fuck it. You got to live on the edge a little bit. So that's my story.
Well,
yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
dude,
terrible influence, bro. Do not listen to this guy,
dude.
bro. That is terrible. That is terrible advice.
I know. On top of that, I'm working on getting like I'm actually surprised because like Dirk, remember when everyone was gambling on Twitch, like with Roobet?
Yep.
So like I thought that got banned, right? Like didn't they say they banned gambling on Twitch?
They banned I think slots, right? But you could play like the more casual stuff or something like that.
Oh, I thought they banned like all of it because like I seen people streaming now like this shit called Rain Bet, which basically it's Roobet. I mean, it's like they're all the same shit. Yeah. And so I reached out to them about like getting a partnership. So listen, fellas, I might be being a terrible influence on stream soon, just so everyone knows here, right? We're not bringing marbles back. That shit was literally a fucking underground casino that almost got us shut down, bro. That shit is not coming back,
bro.
Bro, you could do that. You could do that on Kick, though.
No.
Did Kick integration?
That shit used to pull 400 viewers every time.
Bro, Dirk, do you remember that when I was in Orlando? Do you remember when we were doing that? I don't know if you can, bro.
Those were dirty.
We can't do that, bro. One,
those streams were shit.
One, motherfuckers were scamming their ass off. Two,
Oh yeah.
it's just that shit became. I know it was lit. It was definitely lit. It was lit as fuck. But I can't go back to that. So, all right, chat. We're just gonna keep rambling on. Rigby's about to get on here soon. I'm over here eating this spicy ass fucking food that Zach cooked. But real quick, just an update for the chat. Like we'll go Dirk and then we'll go Hood. Like Dirk, just update people on life. Like how's everything been going? Like what are you up to? Like I don't know if many people have heard from you too much. Like since the league, so just like give them a rundown.
Let's see. Fell into a depression cycle because the league ending took away all my money, and the last year the league actually sucked because our salaries got absolutely shit on. So, but you know, got to roll with the punches as life always is. So I work in car sales now, which you know, it's money. I don't like hate it. I don't love it, but it pays the bills. So yeah, I don't know. I'm in like a weird spot because my soccer content's been going really good, and kind of venturing to that a lot more compared to like how I was with the league and everything. But in terms of like broadcasting and everything, just kind of I jumped into the FIBA 3x3 stuff. I don't know how much more consistent that'll be, but that's been fun. So yeah, I'm kind of just like a weird middle ground of like kind of sitting here and hoping that something ends up coming my way, because I can't really like I used to grind the shit out of commentating to get opportunities. Like I'm talking 12 hours a day, like constantly at it. I just don't have time to do that anymore, which kind of sucks. But you know, I'm sure an opportunity will come up from somewhere. It's just a matter of like when and where. And like obviously like the league is going in a different direction. Like who knows like if down the line if I'm in their plans or not. I know that they hired a new guy that's like the head of talent and everything too, and I've talked to him before, but honestly, I don't know. I'm breathing, I'm alive, and I'm a D3 soccer champion back to back. So I guess that's where my life's at.
Bro, Dirk, you popped up on my Reels page the other day, Dirk.
No, yo, he's killing it. On God.
I clicked the page.
He's killing it.
Went through everything. I was like, man, my boy Dirk is going crazy.
Yo, Dirk, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm gonna keep it real. Like, I went on your page just to be like, you know, you always gotta snoop and check out people's views, right? Like, I had to like be the peeping Tom. I was like, yo, Dirk's fucking killing it, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie, your shit is actually doing good.
I had a viral video. So like I had to do a broadcast for FIBA 3x3, and the tournament was in Taiwan. And so the time difference started the show for me at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got done at 9 a.m. And I just worked all day before that too. So like I was on like 28 hours straight. And so I did the broadcast and everything. I'm trying to like fall asleep. My dogs keep waking me up throughout the day. So I was like 3 hours of sleep. And then I had to do the broadcast again. And I was texting my teammates in our group chat. And I'm like, hey, like I don't think I'm going to go to the game, because I used to, when I was in DC, I would fly out of DC at 4 o'clock in the morning to get to Chicago at 6:30 and drive to my soccer games. And I would always have the worst performances of my fucking life. And I hated every second of it. So I was like giving them fair warning. But like this game was for like first place. If we beat this team, we take first, we get top seed, all this other crap. And we had like a little beef with somebody else on their team because we dropped him from our team going into this year. And so I went out there, first 5 minutes of the game, bro. Ball just comes fucking sailing in. I'm like, man, fuck these dudes. I'm a time waste. I go to bend down like this to like knock the ball, completely misjudge it, just rolls right between my legs. 6.7 million views across like TikTok and Instagram.
Hey, fuck it.
So like, no, bro, it's the first time I've gotten paid a decent amount from any video I've ever made in my life. I think.
How do they, Dirk? How do they do like how does the pay for Instagram work? How is it just based off view, or like
no? I got bonuses unlocked, which is like a rare thing that some people get. So it's just based off of like however many views and interactions that you get off of it. So I'm collecting probably at the peak of it. I think I like just off of Instagram alone for like 2 million views at the time. I think I collected like $300 just off of that.
Fire.
TikTok, your video has to be over a minute long, which that video wasn't, but I followed it up with a video that was, and I got like, I think like 300K views. So I got paid like around like 200 for that as well. So, I mean, it's funny because like there's always a stigma with American soccer. Like, oh man, like, these motherfuckers suck. Like this shit's embarrassing and blah, 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 blah. But like, they don't know that I was born in England. I'm part Spanish. Yeah. I ain't fucking American.
Yo, I didn't know that either. You know, when people told me you were born over there, I was like, bro, no way. You told me you used to have the accent. I was like, this guy's fucking lying, bro. He's from like Chicago. Like, no shot, bro.
Yeah. I
but
can't even
that's
say
funny.
Chicago. JT will fucking be pissed at me, bro. I gotta
Oh
say,
yeah,
from
but
fucking Byron,
yeah,
Illinois.
yeah, we're not gonna start that. My dog Rigby, what up? Let's
Shit, you muted.
Hood. Oh, yeah, you're muted,
I
Rigby.
think it's muted.
Sorry, I
Yeah.
mean mistake. Hood, update the people. I can't. Rigby, click the little cog. Like, see a little cog icon? You should be able to change your mic in there. Check that.
I don't even see that.
If not, just DM Mar. Mar might be able to help you. Hood, update the people on you, bro. I know, like, obviously, me and you are close. We talk all the time,
Man,
but
what?
yeah,
I
like,
haven't
bro,
spoke to
people
the
like
people
you
in-
gotta
the people
understand,
I
like,
haven't heard from.
but you
The
gotta
people I
understand,
haven't-
like,
the people I haven't heard from
when
me
people
in a decade.
when people hear Hood, bro, people think LeBron James, ESPN, like that's what that's what their heads go, bro. So like, it's been a while. So like, just I don't know, update the people on everything.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been a minute. I definitely feel what Dirk said. I feel like for me, the league ended up, a while ago, and when it first happened, it was tough. Like getting out there, getting
Yeah.
into the real world. You don't play 2K anymore for a living, and it's kind of one of those things where you can't go to a job interview and be like, "Oh, I have experience in playing 2K." Like
I
that,
know it's crazy.
that doesn't get you nowhere. That doesn't get you experience for any job. So I hit hard the first couple years, but yeah, my son has been a big motivation for me. Keeping me up,
Hell
and
yeah.
I got my CDL learner's permit recently. And
Fire.
in 2 weeks,
Let's
I
go.
finished my school, so I have my license to drive trucks. It's not 2K, but like Dirk said, it pays bills, and you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, it's
So will
been
you
cool.
be doing like
I
long
still,
distance? Like you'll be doing like long distance driving?
well, I think the first year I was reading about it is just like it's the toughest because you have to have a driving trainer. So basically, wherever I go, someone's gonna be next to me, sleeping in my truck, and making sure I'm doing everything good on the road. But then after that, every company I've seen, like once you get like a year or two of experience, is pretty good. So I mean, I'm excited
Nice.
for it. I'm excited.
Yeah, bro. Listen,
I'm pretty
man,
sure I'm all fixed up. I got everything situated.
there you go. We hear you, Rigby.
Hey, there we go.
What up?
Let's go. My
What up,
dog
what up,
Rigby. Hey,
Dirk?
all right. So we'll jump in with you too, Rigby. Like I was telling them, like I think people like just want to know like what's been good with everyone. So like just update everyone on like life with you, like after the league. How's everything been going with you?
Life with me after the league, everything been great, bro. Like I just like being able to be home with the fam.
Hell
Like
yeah.
leaving for 6 months, a lot of people don't really understand like what really goes into that. Like it's a lot of dedication and different things like that you miss out on, especially during the summertime. Like it's so much extra shit that you just don't even see. So being home, like I've been day trading, still investing. That's
Okay,
pretty much
nice.
all I've been doing. Just been chilling.
I ain't gonna lie, I might have to hit you up, bro. You know what I mean? I'm trying to double this money up.
Everybody always wanna hit me up, but then when it actually
Man.
comes to fruition, nobody be around, bro.
Hey man, listen, I'm here. I'm here for the long run, baby. Y'all know me, man. I'm here for the long run, bro. I knew Rigby since
Me too.
2K18, bro.
That's the way to do it.
I know
A
his
lot of people don't
motherfucking
know
Rigby
that.
since 2K18, bro. When he was scamming motherfuckers, bro.
Nah, I was
bro.
ruthless as a youth. I was definitely a ruthless youth.
Listen, a lot of 2K motherfuckers were scamming people back in the day, all right? I'm not gonna name names, but if you know, you know, all right? If you know, you know. Yeah, like one thing I'll say, bro, is like I know I've been out the league for a while. Like obviously I was like the employee, like did the whole employee thing, but like I can't lie, bro. It's been nice to just like I don't really play 2K as much. Obviously, I don't grind it as much, but it's been nice to just play the game and like not have to worry about being the best and like finding the pro-am team. Like, you know what I'm
Same
saying?
exact
Like that
word.
shit is fucking
Being the
stressful,
best,
bro.
trying your
Like,
hardest. That shit.
hell
Yeah,
yeah,
that
bro.
shit.
Then
That
you
shit
gotta deal with all the
definitely.
politics of like
Takes away.
it does, bro. You gotta find the politics of
It takes
like
away from like
what team can I get
everything.
on and like who's snaking who and like it's a lot, bro. On top of like Rigby said, the whole leave-in family for 6 months and like for me at least like in my career, like most of you guys know, like I was never on a team for a long period of time, bro. It was like 1 year, then a new team, 1 year, then a new team, and then like finally Orlando, I was there for like 2 years, but like that whole like giving a team everything you got, going unretained, going back, and then like going back and having to like invest yourself and prove yourself to get drafted again. And then if you get drafted to a team you don't want to be on, it's like, oh fuck, like here we go, bro. Like I remember season 2, like I thought I was going back to Cleveland to be with Hood and them. I ended up going to Memphis, bro. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't even interview with these dudes, bro. I didn't interview. Like, bro, I'm not even lying to y'all. Like, I swear to God, like, this is exactly how it was. I was sitting in my crib on a chair just like this. I was watching the draft. I was, like, kind of talking to Hood a little bit, texting him here and there. Anthony Morocco was texting me here and there. And I remember Morocco texted me, said, yo, we're taking you this round. I think it was, like, round 3. So I think like Cleveland's like the next pick. Memphis is up. I'm like, oh well, bro. Like I didn't even interview with Memphis. I don't even know none of these. Like those are all PlayStation guys, like Authentic African, D Double. Like I don't know who the fuck that we had, but they go, you know, with the pick, Memphis selects Toxic, and no joke, bro. My dad was right behind me, and I literally turned around and I said, what the fuck? Like I'm going to Memphis? Oh hell no. So like, you know, I hate to say that because I realized once I went to Memphis. Like Lang is awesome. Loved Lang. Their org is actually like he's a great dude. Like he's one of those tier 1 dudes for me in the 2K League who genuinely just care about you as a person, which is important. And like their org also was cool. Like you could tell they were invested. You could tell like there was a lot of good perks with Memphis, going to games, meeting players. Like that's what I did like about it. But like the city of Memphis. Not really for me. Being from South Florida,
the city
not
of
really
Memphis
for me,
was so crazy.
Yeah,
Rigby,
outside of the arena and like Beale Street, it ain't shit. Like it ain't shit there, like at all. So that was rough. And then on top of that, like I didn't click with those dudes at all. I love those dudes. Like I don't got no beef towards any of the teammates, but you know you gotta have a good vibe, bro. So for me, that was tough. But yeah, I mean, like being able to play the game and like. Not be, I know it sounds so like weird, but like not be toxic, right? Like I could just play 2K. Like I could just play it with my friends or like play it with whoever. Like I don't got to worry about scheduling the Pro-Am match tonight and like streaming comp stage and fucking everything else I did. Cause that shit will literally drive you nuts on top of like, I feel like when we all got in the league, the game got worse every year. So like on top of us trying to be good every year, the game kept getting worse too. So like we were just forcing ourselves to be like good and play this game that just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So it's been nice to have a little bit of a different perspective. Obviously, I've been blessed because like I did the 2K League job, I left, and now I'm with EA and I'm working from home, which is a blessing. So it probably makes it a little bit easier my transition. But yeah, I mean it was a rough time for a while. So let's just jump right into it. So. If you guys watched the last time we did an episode like this, we did it with Dayfry, Malik, and Crush. So it's like untold stories about the 2K League. So like, interesting aspect here, bringing you in, Dirk, because you have always been like the voice of the league, and you had that stint where you tried to get drafted. So like, I want to hear about that stuff too. But then also, Dirk, like if you know so much about the league and so much about the players, if there's like certain stories that you heard about that you want to bring up, like bring it up. Because I won't even remember everything, to be honest. So just like if something just sparks in your head while we're going, like feel free to just go left with it, and I'm totally cool with that. All right. The one story I'll say real quick is I'll never live it down. Dirk and Scott Cole. Scott Cole, if you ever see this one day, that guy was on my nuts for 2 years straight, bro, and that shit was fucking miserable, dude. He was on my nuts for 2 years straight, bro. Like, I don't think that guy ever said one good thing about me on broadcast, bro. It didn't matter if I hit it, if I greened a shot, it don't fucking matter, bro. It was every time I did something, a rare this, a rare toxic that, a rare toxic. So, Scott Cole, bro, I respect you. I love you. You know I do. But just for all that buildup, and now I'm not with the league anymore, I got one thing to say to you, and this is out of all love and respect. Fuck Scott Cole, because you did me dirty for 2 years, bro. All right, Scott
Yo, I was going to say all love and respect, but I remember him saying, yo, another rare toxic 3. And
it's like, bro.
And you were like, yo, I think I'm going to go punch him in the face, bro. And I was like, yo, chill, bro. Just chill.
It's like, I already get the ball fucking Cole. I already get the ball 3% of the game anyway.
Bro.
Yeah, I love Scott Cole.
Usage rate in the league.
Oh, Rigby, year 1, I had to have the lowest usage rate in the league. Like, no joke. I had to have the lowest usage rate. And listen, what I'll say is, too, I love that year. That's probably the best year in the league I ever had. Like, no joke. And like me and Hood, like, we'll be friends forever. Our families are friends. Like, we'll be friends forever. But that year, like, I don't know. I went in with different expectations, obviously. But, I mean, if you look at how the league was season 1, bro, to now, or when it ended, bro, we were loading up playing fucking team up scrimmages. I was legitimately using Kyle Korver as my jump shot and then emailing the league like, oh, I want to use release, blah, blah, blah. And if they got it wrong, I mean, you're fucked for a month. You couldn't change it for a month. You were screwed. So
that's insane.
Bro, it was insane. So like that, no excuses.
I remember them team up scrims. Yo, Andre Drummond was the best team up player in the fucking world.
Bro, remember we loaded up against the Mavs and like Dimes was using LeBron and we like everyone was like going Dimes. It was nasty shit going on in year 1, bro. But and on top of that, that had to be the hardest league build to shoot. I don't give a fuck. To this day, I'll say that.
Yeah.
You could not bring
unless your name is Adam Kudamati and you get sliders. But
yeah, Dirk. Can we talk about that for a second? Like, was there actually some shit going on? Because ain't no fucking way, bro.
I mean, like, as much as I wish I could dive into the conspiracies, I had the same thing as everybody else. Like, there's no way this update just fucking popped up out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, like, Adam goes from being a bottom guard to like the fucking best guard in the entire world, greening more than everybody. Because like, you remember like when people get hyped up and scream green, if you compare it to any other year, there was more passion in fucking season 1 of screaming green than any other league build because it was so fucking rare. DeVillin didn't green a shot for the Mavs until like 8 games into the fucking season. That's including the tip-off tournament, and that motherfucker was somehow still hitting, and it never made any sense whatsoever. So I don't know, dude. Like, New York, we're in New York. They're not doing very good. They somehow win the fucking ticket, then they fucking win the league. I don't know.
Nobody can tell me shit, bro. I know for sure, bro, there's 100 hey, listen, Dirk, there was 102 people season 1, and there was a lot of good motherfuckers. He was the only one who greened consistently. I don't remember ever greening a shot. You said the villain. I don't personally ever remember greening a shot.
You know what's funny?
I know there had to be some, bro.
The one shot I remember greening vividly all season long. I mean, I'm sure I greened a couple, but the one shot I remember vividly greening, we were in the playoffs. We were playing the Knicks. For anyone who watched that series, I don't want to talk about it. It was game, I think 3, Hood, when like all that shit went down. We came back down. We were trying to, it was game 3. And it was right before halftime. There was like 2 seconds left. You said, Tox, I'm throwing you the shit. I don't give a fuck. Just shoot it. I said, all right, fuck it.
Oh, no, that's not what I said. No, that's not what I said. Brandon, I said, Brandon, you're gonna rep up and you're gonna shoot a wide open heavy.
You said
and
fucking shoot it.
Motherfucker,
I wrapped up the I shot that bitch right in his fucking mitt and yelled green, and everyone was like, the fuck? And I was like, bro, I don't fucking know. Just shoot that bitch. I don't fucking know, bro. So
shot it with all confidence. That's what it is.
Well, it was crazy, but it's like, but the wide open ones, I could never buy green. That year was insane, like to the point where sharps were just literally running the break. You had to run the break. Like Seam was so good at running the break season 1, he barely even shot threes. He just fucking was out. As soon as the shot went up, that motherfucker was gone. So
just taking the dunks the whole game,
bro, all game. So that was probably the main reason why I fucking played lockdown the next year, because I was like, I can't do this again, bro. I can't go through this again. And like that was the end of my lock or my sharp career. And a funny story I'll mention in Cleveland real quick, and then we can go around. I forgot what happened this week, Hood, but we were gonna play the Celtics, and I don't even know if you know this, Dirk, but we were gonna play the Celtics, and I don't know what it was, Hood, but like I don't know if like we were doing bad in scrims or like what the case was, but like we go into practice one day, Dirk, and they're like, "All right, Tox, get on point guard." It's like, what the fuck? Get on point guard. I was like, all right. They're like, yeah, bro, you play stage, like you just jig around. Just jig around. I was like, oh, all right, just jig around. Like, fuck it, sign me up. So we go into scrims. We play the Bucks, and if you remember the Bucks that year, they had like O'Leary, Precision, Drake, and like I forgot who else. So we load up in this scrim, bro. I'm on point guard. Hood's on shooting guard, and I fucked these dudes up. I mean, I actually think I have the screenshot. Like, no joke. And no joke, Dirk. Like, I convinced my whole team to put me out at point guard against Fab on stage. Like like that doesn't even sound like no one believes that. I know no one believes it, but I'm not even kidding y'all, bro. Like I gotta find the screenshot because it will give you more context of like how crazy I was actually going in the scrim. I don't know what the fuck got into me, but I was dogging these motherfuckers, bro. I mean, I was reading them left and right,
I
them,
almost
scoring,
remember
everything.
the screenshot, bro. Yeah, like 38, bro. And
Oh my god,
like
I found
17
it.
to 22 or some
it.
shit, bro.
If you guys can see that, I don't know if chat can see that. Probably not.
Yeah, let
Keep
it focus.
right there.
There we go.
33, 10 assists, 12 of 18, 5 of 10 from 3.
And Jerry was
he went
too.
stupid. I remember that shit.
Jerry had a game.
He went dumb.
Fuck. Oh shit.
So we popped these boys. Bro, we popped these boys. And my whole team was convinced, like, no joke. I think for the rest of the week, Dirk, we practiced with me on point guard. It got down to like the final day before we flew out to New York, and I literally sat down and practiced one day. I was like, guys, I can't do this. Like, I just can't do this. Like, I'm like, I'm just gonna be real with you guys. Like, I'm not nervous. Not that I'm nervous. Like, we're not about to put me out at point guard against Fab. Like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. So it never happened. But that is one of my untold stories for today of Toxic almost loaded up on point guard, and I don't know what would have happened if that ever happened. But you know that was an interesting one. So I know. Listen, going forward, we'll jump around. Like you guys, feel free to like, you know, go how you want to go. I want to start with Hood, and then Rigby. I know you got a lot of stuff to talk about too, so we'll go to you, and Dirk chime in as well. So like,
new gen.
Yeah, so I want to lead with Hood a little bit because like me and him kind of have the connection. So like, obviously season 1, we had a great relationship. We all know the shit we went through, the ups and downs, everything. And then another funny story I'll say. Listen, after season 1, I don't even know if you know this, Dirk. So after season 1, we retained. Who did we retain? Hood. It was you, Jerry. Was that it? Just you and Jerry, and Mark.
Just them two, yeah. No, just
okay. Okay, so we ended up retaining. I think he froze, but we'll get him back. We ended up retaining Hood and Jerry, and at the end of the year, Hood. This is why Hood got traded to the T-Wolves. He went to, the GM, and he said, "Trade Jerry for Walnut." And if you don't trade Jerry for Walnut, I don't want to. I'm gone. So obviously, nothing transpired. The trade never happened. All right. Wait, you back, Hood?
I think I'm back. I think so.
Right. Yeah. So basically, I was telling him at the end of the year, you and Jerry got retained. You basically told Summers and them, it's Jerry. Get rid of Jerry. I want Walnut. If you don't get him, I'm gone. I don't give a fuck. I'm gone. So basically, they didn't get Walnut. Hood got traded, and he froze again. Sick. No, you're good. Okay.
I think I'm
Are you getting phone calls? Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Nah,
you're like kind of like chopping.
I don't know.
All right, you're good. You're good. You should be fine. I don't know. You're right. So yeah, so he obviously ends up getting traded, then goes to Minnesota, and like that's where I want to talk. Like I want you to take over, Hood. Like there was so much shit that went down in Minnesota that obviously I heard a little bit about it. What really happened? Like talk about that.
All right. Well, to start everything off, I guess we could just go to just me and Jerry and the whole reason of me saying, oh, it was Jerry or Walnut. And you know this story, but it was the Knicks series, and we had went up 1-0 in the semifinals. And in game 2, we went up like 15, maybe in the third quarter. We ended up blowing the game. And after every single game in the playoffs, you went into like your little own room where, you know, you guys huddled up, talked about the game. You had 5 minutes maybe. And I just remember during the game, Jerry had made a call out or something like that. And I was in disagreement with it. And we just kind of like had a disagreement on the stage about it. And when we got back up, it got like rowdy in there. I don't remember. It was like a shoving match just a little bit between me and Jerry. And I remember.
No, rowdy is an
it was a lot.
You're selling this shit short, bro.
No, we was really ready to throw hands. Like people had to hold us back.
You literally told the team, I'm not fucking loading up at point guard. Yeah, I'm not fucking playing. We're going into game 3 to go to the 2K League finals, Rigby. The finals. My point guard is saying,
that's crazy.
Fuck y'all. I ain't fucking loading up.
I mean, what was said that like led up for that to like go down like that?
Bro, Rigby, it's because Kuda was killing us. He was killing us, and I remember Jerry had wanted to put the power forward on the ball, so they could just play sides on it. And that year, bro, the inside was absolutely crazy. So if Jerry switched onto the ball, Savage would be under the paint getting a rebound, and Kuda would just shoot a free every time. And Goofy's guy, like the athletic rebounder that year, was like he was too much. Stop Kuda, like there's nothing else. We need Savage in the back end helping us out with rebounds and things like that. And yeah, bro, it was just a disagreement. I feel like in that time, bro, like
I
Jerry was a dog, bro.
Because like there's a lot of times where like, especially when you're getting fried, like as a team, it can just get internal and just turn left in like everybody's mindset. Because everybody on the team is normally like winners. Like everybody's usually winning in like pre-draft and stuff like that. So when you're in the league, everybody's on the same level. Everybody's really good. So it definitely could turn really fast.
It was such a high stake game in a high pressure moment that like whatever transpired, like it just, I don't know. Like it was like, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. We all looked at each other during the game too and was like, yo, we're going to the finals. I mean, like we were.
Yeah, because I just felt like I felt like in that moment, bro. Like we had won game 1 and it wasn't close. We went up 15 in game 2, and like we had a game plan. We already knew what we were gonna do. So to like switch it just because they went on a run and we started playing bad, I feel like that was wrong. So then, I mean, not to like toot my horn or anything like that, but I felt like Jerry. Like I always say this, Jerry was the best center I played with. Jerry's one of the best, like, just people I've played with ever. Like he's very skillful, he's very smart. But I felt like that team was mine, and for him, like it was just like too much of button heads, and he was not listening to me at all. Like it was Jerry's way or the highway. And I feel like in that moment, bro, going into next season, I was like, I don't want to be in this scenario again in the most important moments and like have my second best player with me, like talking shit or like we're not agreeing, we're not getting on the same page. And it was probably one of the biggest mistakes I ever.
You both were alphas. Like that was the problem. Like you both were alphas.
That was the thing.
Hood,
like
at that
Jerry
time,
was
like
Jerry was a dog, bro.
Also, the Hood, like at that time, like you hit your peak. Like we went through all the ups and downs of like you running 5 out, you trying this build, trying that build, and then you finally got on that short motherfucker. Like, and we ran through the Raptors. Like you killed. I forgot you had like 38 and 15 against the Raptors. Like so you were on your peak, and then we flooded them game 1. So I feel like for Jerry to give you that, whatever he said, it almost made you like. I mean, let's just be real. It kind of hurt the ego a little bit, and it made that clash happen at the worst time possible.
Not to go too backwards, but I just feel like from the jump with that team, I felt like how you said, I was doing so well in 5 out, and after the tip-off tournament, you guys already wanted to go away from 5 out. So it was like I feel like it was just like a bunch of things. Yeah, not you guys, but just people. I don't know, just in general, bro. Just in general, bro. It felt like it was always something like wrong, bro. It was always something wrong. It was like I could never put my 2 cents. It always had to be like someone saying something. And at the end of the day, it was wrong, bro. Like, you guys can see how my 2K League career went on from there. It wasn't good, but yeah. So basically, just get back to it. Yeah, that's why I said it was Walnut or the Highway, and so yeah, I ended up going to Minnesota, and I remember just taking phone calls. Nobody wanted to trade for me, and they were the only team. It was an expansion team. They were the only ones. And I remember saying, because the whole time it was like me and Walnut had also developed a great friendship throughout the league. So I really wanted to go to Portland just from the start, and they told me that was dead. They weren't gonna make it blah 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 blah. And I remember Minnesota calling me, and I remember telling them like, I'm not going there. Like I don't want to go to you. And so a couple days went by. Cleveland said, we don't want you here anymore. You already said you want to leave. So it's Minnesota or you kind of like have nothing. And I just remember talking to Minnesota, and I remember having this specific conversation with I can't remember his name, but the dude to start it all up. Do you guys remember his name?
JB?
The one with the glasses? No. It was
like JB's higher up.
Nah, man, he was a cool dude. He was cool, but I just remember telling him. I remember telling him that I wanted to pick the coach because I think that's one of the things that people don't think is like really important in the 2K league. Is like a
Oh,
coach,
that's the year they had what's his
and
name, right?
yeah, and that was the year they had Vilvins. And I remember telling him I wanted Jonah because they told me that they were interviewing Jonah. I said I want Jonah, or I don't want to play for your team. And then I remember them telling me, all right, we'll get Jonah. And I remember I had to call Cleveland and be like, okay, it's fine to trade me. I get traded. The next day they call me and tell me we're not getting Jonah. Like, we got somebody else. I think you're gonna love him.
Yikes!
And coming off a year
So
where
that's
I
a
was
stunner.
like, bro, coming off the year where I was that guy, it was like,
Yeah,
damn, bro, how am I gonna get along with this dude? Blah 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 blah. And I tried to develop a relationship with him before the season, and I remember going into that year, going into the draft. I remember trying to put my 2 cents in on like who we should draft, this, that. I didn't get to pick one player on that team. Every single player was picked that year. And yeah, it was just stunning for me, bro. It was really like stunning. I feel like that's something that a lot of people don't know about the 2K league is like there's a lot of people in management, bro, who kind of just put themselves first before the players and things like that. And I
I
think
literally know nothing about the
Cleveland
game too.
Cleveland was the best place, bro, because Morocco was a person who didn't know too much about the game, but he always listened to us. Like he always
Mm-hmm.
he knew we were the knowledgeable ones. He always let us take the lead. And just everywhere I went from there on after was never the same. And I'll go down as like Anthony Morocco is the best coach I ever had, like ever, and he knew nothing about the game.
I'm
So
trying to
it's
think.
kind of
Like
crazy.
you played for Cleveland, Minnesota, and Portland. Was it just those three?
Cleveland, Minnesota, Portland, Miami.
Miami. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I just remember, so just to start off, bro, like yeah, I didn't get to pick anybody that was on my team. I ended up loving the people that were in Minnesota. I thought they did put up a good roster together. And I guess this is untold story. I guess nobody knows this, but I ended up asking for a trade. I ended up saying I don't want to be there anymore. And the main
How
reason was
early into
really
the season was
because
that?
I want to say it was after like
Because
maybe
we
the
played you
third or
like I'm
fourth
pretty sure
week.
we played you like week one, like first game of the season.
Yeah,
I
you
think
played us
I
in
was
the
in
tip off.
Memphis.
Tip
Yeah,
off.
that's right.
Yeah, so I just remember. I remember, bro.
Oh, there's that cell phone
There he
connection.
goes.
Yeah, well,
There he goes.
we'll get him back whenever we get him. So we'll just jump to you, Rigby, and then Dirk. Obviously, we'll have you come in as well and talk about stuff. Remind me, Rigby, you got drafted your first year to was it Charlotte?
Hornets, yeah, season 4.
Chalk.
Okay, and then
I think
oh
I'm
wait,
back.
no, all right, Hood, you're back. All right, good. All right, so yeah,
He back.
continue, Hood. You were just talking about the trade, asking for a trade.
Like going. Okay, so all right, yeah, but just going back to the first 2K league practice I had, and by the way, this is a 2K practice. Our coach had us on a real basketball court running press drills, man press break drills, like we're a high school basketball team, running through plays like in real basketball, passing the ball,
Yeah.
laying the ball up, and shit like that. And like I think Feast and Turnup were the only ones who had came back from like the league, and everybody else was new. Like Bear the Beast was new, JoJo was new, Nacho
Fucking running
wasn't,
plays on the court. It's like, bro, what?
bro. And I remember looking at them like,
Oh,
yo,
God.
like nobody's gonna say anything. Like, yo, we're playing basketball right now, and we're trying to win in 2K. Like, how is this correlating, bro? And so yeah, obviously the T-Wolves ended up going to win the championship that year. But I think one thing that people do not know is the whole time we were there, we were running scrims. Bear was struggling. Like Bear was having a hard time in scrims with an inside center. He was having a hard time. And we would always suggest, yo, let's try 5 out. Like, let's try something new. And he said, you guys have to play this position. No one will switch positions. You will not switch your build. You will play this. We never got to like change or do something that we wanted to do.
That seems weird though to hear that though, Hood. Like, especially when like Bear is like the 5-out guy.
Yeah.
Like that seems,
and
I don't know.
The reason why they started running 5-out is because when I got traded, he also got fired. The coach got fired.
That's
so
right.
it was open field. They ended up doing whatever the hell they wanted to do, and that obviously they went on and won the championship. And you can imagine how I felt. You can imagine how I felt. It was shitty, bro. But I knew it though. Like, I think that's one thing too that I think Bear, after that moment, he like up on them. He was like really mad and stuff. But what people don't know, bro, me, Bear, JoJo, bro, we were all out all the time. Like, we had there, everybody was hanging out, everything was good, bro. It was just, I had already been through a year of like, I know what it takes to win a championship. I know, what you need to do. And I didn't see that in the coach, and that's why I ended up, asking to get out.
Yeah, I mean, also too, I think he froze again, but for people that don't know why that coach got fired, that's an interesting one as well. Dirk, correct me if I'm wrong, but like the guy had a player who said he had like a headache before the game or something. He wasn't feeling good. So the player asked for Advil or like Tylenol. And so the coach supposedly
I don't know why I keep getting kicked out, bro.
Yeah, you're good.
I mean, what the fuck is going on?
You're not getting like a phone call or anything? Sometimes if you're getting a phone call, like it would like freeze it.
Maybe if I move.
So a player asked for an Advil or Tylenol, and the coach supposedly gave him an Advil or Tylenol, and go figure, like it ended up being actually an Adderall that he gave the player.
Yep.
And I don't know how that got passed down the line, but it got passed down the line, and that's why he got fired.
I feel like I don't know what happened with that situation. Like even on the back end, I think it just like accidentally got out, and then once it spread from there, then it went to like the upper offices. So I think it was like trying to be kept in house. I don't think it was like a snitch thing. By the way, fun fact. Because I always look at this and how much it would have changed the course of season 2. Do you remember? So I can obviously remember like play by play vividly. Bear to Beast drives into the paint. Walnut drops off the corner. Turn up for the win. Turn up knocks on that shot. Bear jumps onto the stage, knocks over a monitor, is cheering. Did you know that was the year you could call technical fouls in the game? And so like you could go back and like stop the game if like Gabe gave the whistle to Brad or Daniel at the time. After that sequence, Keyboard Gabe was actually radioing upstairs to Daniel and Brad saying that there needs to be technicals on Bear for his celebration, which would have completely like. So what he was doing, because it was so loud in there, he was saying that Brad and Daniel didn't hear him when he was radioing. There could have been a sequence to where B5 could have went to the line to shoot free throws and then won the game, and like would have just ruined everything because they needed that win to get to the playoffs. But they said that they couldn't hear him.
From our standpoint, Dirk, and everyone here, I would have hated to seen that.
Oh, like, it would have been the ultimate fucking buzzkill of like one of the most iconic moments in league history. But I went up to Gabe and I was like, I saw you with your little hand on like your little pack right here. I was like, were you calling a technical? He goes, yeah. Like he pushed over a monitor. He jumped on the center stage. He was yelling at the other team. That was like the trifecta of what you needed for it. And so, yeah, he was trying it. Like, can you imagine, though, if that would – I mean, I think that would have happened, like, recent years of the NBA2K League with how fucking weird everything was, that they probably would have done some dumb shit like that. But, yeah, that's a fun fact. Nobody knows about that. Nobody knew that. That would have changed everything. It would have literally, like, I don't know how they would have done it. I think they would have, like, started the game back up and immediately called technicals.
I'm not lying. The would have been fighting, bro.
With all due respect to – Keyboard Gabe was a bitch.
I love Gabe.
Hey, I like Keyboard Gabe too. Keyboard Gabe, you're a good guy. Rigby, it's before your time, bro. Keyboard Gabe, you're a great guy. I like you, Keyboard Gabe.
I just said with all due respect, bro. He's a great dude.
Yeah, I said it was Scott Cole. All due respect, Scott Cole. I love you, but fuck you for being on my nuts for 2 years. Keyboard Gabe, all due respect, we love you, but you held us back from some great moments. All right, that
for sure.
Like I was talking about with Day Fry. When Day Fry had the beef with Dimes and they had that game where they played each other in season 2, I had never felt the arena with so much fucking excitement ever like before. Dayfry walks down the motherfucking steps, bro. Walks across the cake top and stares Dimes down like it's like they're about to go to fucking war, bro. And I remember remember Dimes got up. Dirk is like, I'm not playing.
Yeah,
remember that? I'm not playing.
Well,
like,
no. Do you remember?
Told them all to chill out.
Do you remember the Mavs ended up winning that game? And so, I mean, I don't want to jump in. I'll let Rigby talk because this is kind of like I have a lot of untold stories in terms of like that year of like going from off season, season 1, season 2 to off season, season 2, season 3. I had interviewed for the Mavs coaching position going from season 1 to season 2 and like had the job in the bag. But I literally said, and I have text messages to prove this still, I think, in my phone. I told Trey Christensen at the time, I said, I will only coach this team if you trade Dimes and we build around Dayfry. And they were like, fuck no. Like, just told me straight up. So I'm like, okay, like I don't want the job anymore. They ended up hiring LT. I obviously that matchup with like the Wizards and Mavs of how close I was to Dayfry meant a lot to me. I was fully engaged in that. I was standing up the whole time. You and Harris were sitting right next to me, right? The Mavs end up winning this game. Lan Valen at the time was like the assistant coach, turns around and starts cussing me out, saying that's why we fucking traded him. Mo's fucking better than him. That's why we fucking traded him. And so the assistant coach is yelling at me while I'm on broadcast. I'm like taking my headset off, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Tox is right next to me, like, what the fuck is going on? Harris is looking at me like, dog, like, what the fuck did you do? And I'm like, bro, like, he's cussing me the fuck out for like 20 seconds straight. And I'm like, brother, like, who gives a fuck? In the long term, I was right. Should have built around Dayfry, but to each its own.
Hey, man, listen, Dimes got his value back when he went to center, though, I will say. He definitely got his value back when he went to center because I'll be real. Like, listen, I'll be transparent. Like, as a lockdown, Dimes was one of the easiest guards I guarded. I mean, 100%. Like, he just was. Like, I knew what he wanted to do all the time. Like, everyone knows Dimes didn't like shooting a lot of threes. So, like, as a lock, it was super easy to guard Dimes. Like, when he made that transition to center, like, he actually – I mean, he made that Bucks team a lot better, and they ended up winning the championship.
I'm not – no bullshit. When – I think it was going into like last year, like eFIBA and everything, when he kind of set the tone of like how centers are going to play the game with like what he was doing. He was easily the best center on fucking earth. Like that, nobody could fucking touch him, and he was doing like his thing. His own way,
this is what I always say too about it, Dirk. Is like I'm biased a little bit, and I want to jump to Rigby because I know he's got a lot of stories to tell too. Like I always thought Sick was the one of, like, if not the best, but the best defensive and passing center. I thought Jerry was always like one of the best defensive and probably the best passing center. Like, people don't realize how good he made that Raptors team. Like, obviously the team was great, but like he was literally the second playmaker for the team. If you notice, they used to throw the ball up to him and like he used to make the reads. Like he's so good at that. And I feel like Dimes is the only center to me that got close to that when he got on center. Like, Dimes became a really good passer from the position. And when you do that, like, I mean, Rigby, you know, from playing Sharp, and, like, I know, like, it opens up so much for a team.
A lot of those guys come from, like, team up and stuff like that, too. So, like, I think playing team up and just being on every different position and team up, like, going to center and playing at center. Like,
I was going to say, too, like, as you get older, too, bro, like, your fingers don't move the same. Like, how you saying Dimes is always the point guard. His fingers don't move the same, but his brain was always there. But like he's been playing the game for too long to not be good at every position. So that was a given that he's gonna thrive no matter what. At point guard, obviously not. You can't compete with these 18-year-olds, bro, who just think and move your fingers faster.
Well, I think a big part of it too, and Rigby knows this, like, because me and Rigby come from this scene, is like the stage scene started getting involved more, and when the stage scene started getting involved more, it
really 2K20.
Yeah, but like the knowledge was always there with the pro-am guys, but the stick skill was like what changed when the stage guys got involved, right? Like you started seeing the Greenses, and you started seeing the Vandys, and you started seeing like I think it made the 2K League guys have to get better too, because even like from like the lockdown position, think about it, bro. Like Tazo, I mean Zay. You could argue Zay could have been one of the best locks the league ever had, like offensively and defensively, like what he was able to do at the position. Not a lot of people were able to do. So, and I mean, even guys like, you know, I don't like the kid, but like Hezzy Cap, like he was really good. Like, I don't like him, but like, I think he was good. Like, there was a lot of, for sure.
it's like
There's
a
a
lot
lot of
of
guys.
like Hawks that like come from stage and like they're like so offensive, but their defense is also like they just kind of know certain angles and certain
Right.
blitz angles that a
It's
lot of
like
other
to
like
me, Rigby, it's
casual,
like
more
once the
pro-am style
stage
lots
guys
can
started
get.
learning like once the stage guys started learning like rotations and like little call outs and like little things like that,
Mhm.
it changed everything. You know what I mean? To me, like that's where I saw the big change. And that's when I knew it was time to get my ass out of there because it was what it was.
Started
But
getting a little too mental.
you know what
Literally,
I'm
you had to
saying,
be
bro?
on
Like,
top of your
yeah,
game.
you know, I mean, I knew it was coming, bro. I knew, I saw the writing on the wall, brother. So yeah, Rigby, let's jump to you. Like, obviously, okay, I know you got drafted to the Hornets. A, a lot of stories I've heard from you. You know what I'm saying? And like, I want you to be as open and transparent as you want to be. Mar, we can full screen Rigby. I'm gonna go take a piss and come right back, but please, like, feel free to just talk on everything. One thing I want to talk on is one thing I want to talk on is when I get back. You can start with the Hornets, but the whole Vegas trip. Like I know you went to Vegas. You were with C's, right? C's and them boys. You
C's,
were playing with.
guns,
Okay.
DT. We had a
Okay.
couple people. Well, no, like our team was me, Crush,
You
C's, guns, and
guns.
then our power forward was I think put back. I want to say put
It
back.
was put back. It was put back. That's right.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's start. Let's start with Charlotte. Let's start with all like whatever you want to get into the nitty gritty, and then I'll be back in literally 10 seconds, and then I want to talk about the Vegas trip as well.
Okay.
So, feel free, bro. Go
All right.
ahead.
Let me start off with season 4. All right. So basically, season 4 got drafted. I was the 8th pick. I didn't really want to go to Charlotte at a point in time. Like I remember right before the draft happened, I was calling Wes. Like we had like another interview and stuff like that. I was telling him I wanted to go to the Sixers because I knew that they were gonna take Dre, and I wanted to play with Dre. And the Sixers had picked 12, I think. So I remember calling Wes, telling him like I didn't really want to go here. I don't really know these guys because like Sherman, Pete, those guys are more like PlayStation guys, and I didn't really play with them as much like going into the draft or like around that time, and the only person I knew on that team was Crown. So, but that was obviously after I got picked. And then during the draft, like I remember just them picking me, like calling James Jordan made the pick, and I just remember like I was just so stunned. I didn't know how to react because at the same time, I didn't know anybody on the team like Gio, Sherm, Pete. Like I didn't know any of those guys. Like I had no recollection of like anything they did really. I knew that like Make It Happen with Sherman, Pete, like they were really good 2K19. So I knew that we had a chance. But like watching me being as young as I was and like watching all like the streams, people ranking us as like one of the worst teams in the league. Like I didn't really I like took that kind of like personal, I guess you could say. So, going into that season, like I remember, there was a league build on season 4. Basically, like somebody, I think it was Antoine Love or somebody made a game basically that like molded what the league build was gonna be. So we basically were playing that all the way up until we actually got the actual release game, which took months. But we ended up flying in. Everybody was flying into their markets, and we were still playing the retail version of the game. Oh yeah, it was Gliz made it. Gliz made it. But yeah, we were just playing that, and we were dominating everybody. Like I don't think there was a team that was really like competing with us besides the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves gave us our toughest matchup, but everybody else, like we were just coasting through. Like we had that league build all the way down to a T. Like we knew everything about different animations and just like what every build could kind of do. Like we was subbing in Dugs here and there whenever Crown couldn't make it, or we would put Dugs at lock whenever Geo had to work. Like it was a lot of different things that we would do and just have fun. Like while we were before we even went to Charlotte. So going into that year, I remember I caught COVID during the tip off. So we were in the tip off. I ended up catching COVID, so I had to play from my apartment, and I played really bad. Like I wasn't really talking. I was kind of quiet. Like that was always like the thing over my head, I guess you could say, in the league. Like
I lie though. Those
I
apartment
used to,
runs though, bro. The apartment runs were the worst.
yeah. So like playing, I had to play real games from the apartment while my whole team was at the arena. So yeah, me having COVID, we ended up beating the Celtics. I think we beat them 2-0 in our group, and then we played the Wizards, and they beat us so bad. It was 0-2. We just got up out of there really fast. So we lost to the Wizards by like 30. I think first game, second game 40, and then I just remember like just sitting in my room. I was like, damn, like is this really how my league career is gonna go? Just I'm in the East. I gotta play JBM, Day Fry, like it's basically us versus them, because at the time nobody thought we even really had a chance. Like I wanted to kind of prove in a tip off like, okay, we can at least fight with these guys or like keep the game close and like respectable, you know. So we didn't, and it would just went really bad. But then to start the regular season, I want to say we started off like maybe 8-0. I don't know for sure. I have a pretty bad memory because there was so many games. It was 28 games, so I don't know exactly like our exact record. But I remember we started off maybe 8-0 or 6-0, and then we had some disputes going on in practice. Like a lot of people, it was just a lot of like bad blood, like a lot of things that just shouldn't have been said. And I think.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, Rigby. Why do you think there? Like, why do you think there would even be bad blood if you guys are starting off 6-0 or 8-0, whatever the case may be? I mean, like that's a great start. So, like, why is that even happening? Where is that coming from?
I think just like in practice, we used to play every practice like it was a real game. Like we would like talk, however, like people would just talk like how they would in a real game. So I think certain words that were said just shouldn't have been said in certain settings, maybe. And that's probably why it ended up getting to a point where we had to sub Crown out. But I think that was my fault, like that whole situation, because I think I could have stepped up and been more of a leader, I guess you could say, because that ended up kind of becoming my team throughout that year. And in the beginning, I didn't really realize that, even though I was playing like one of the better players on the team. I didn't really realize that at that point in time. So I just remember like all the guys coming to me and just basically telling me like, we need you to be the guy to tell Wes that we need to make this decision, because it was just a lot. It was just too much kind of going on. Yeah, it was too much going on in practice, and like me and Crown already talked about this. So like we're like everything that I'm saying, like it's kind of already known by certain people. But like I was the one that basically had to make the decision to bench Crown, and for us to get back to where we got to in the turn, I feel like a lot of people don't understand like what it took off in like the back scenes to really gel and mesh back by subbing Crown in. Like we just had to make the call because we ended up playing 3 games. I think we played the Knicks, the Grizzlies, and I want to say this. I don't know. It wasn't the Sixers. It was the Knicks, Grizzlies, and Gen G. That's what we played, and we split every single game. So we went 1-1 every single game. And I remember I came back to Wes one night. I asked him, "Can we just like talk one-on-one?" And I was like, I think right now, like right before the turn, this is the perfect time to just stun everybody and just like sub Crown in. Like we just like it's just gonna give us a whole different dynamic. Like people like we need the energy now more than ever because we started off so good and then we just went 3-3. So it's like, what's the worst that could happen, right? So going into that turn week, we played a week. It was a week before the turn that we had time to like scrim with like Crown in the lineup. So we scrimmed for that whole week. We didn't lose a game that entire week, like an entire scrim. I think we went like 41 and like, I want to say 2, because we lost to the Wizards once, but we also beat them like twice. And then we lost to the Timberwolves once during that week. So those were like our toughest 2 matchups. And then going into the turn, I just remember we were just talking like, what if we just banned all the point guards that we ended up playing? Like, what if we just banned every archetype that like point guards were using? So we ended up doing that in our first series. We played the Knicks. We played the Knicks in our first series, and we banned the point guard. And they ended up still like giving up us a really good fight. Like that was our toughest series during the entire turn. I remember Malik was just like going off, but then game 3, Sherm, like me and Malik kind of like slowed down. I think game 1 I got the better hand, and game 2 he went off. But game 3, Sherm was what really like separated. Like we were down by like, I want to say like 11 or 12, and Sherm went on like a 15-0 run just by himself. Like he just was just getting bucket after bucket. Like, and it was something I didn't really see the whole season. So like when I was sitting on the hash, I was like, damn, like Sherm really fucking these boys up. Like I was like hyping them up. Everybody in the room was just yelling and stuff. Like it was just good overall vibes. So then to go into the next series, we ended up playing Chalk and Nets, and this was like way before they kind of figured out their defensive identity and stuff like that. So we ended up banning all the point guards, and Chalk couldn't hit like his normal fades and all those kind of things. So it was pretty easy for us to get through them because I ended up having some really good games. I think that was around the time when Faiz was on lock as well. So they had, I want to say Slay at shooting guard, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were just mixing and matching stuff throughout that whole year. So I can't even really remember who was at what, but I remember we just all like everybody was playing really good. Crown was playing like the best of the best at that time, and Gio, of course, like Gio was like a top 3 lock that year to me. So I feel like everybody just came through in that series specifically, and without us beating the Nets, I don't think we would even like, because the way that we beat the Nets, it was really like a momentum like going into the next series. We ended up playing the Heat, and that was when Killy and them were on like that like run, I guess you could say. And I remember the first game we just were punching them. Like we ended up beating them by like 40. I think Killy had like 0 points, 0 for 5, like 5 turnovers. It was a lot of like other stuff that in the game like people didn't see, because I wish everything was on stage. Like that year, like it being COVID, like it was so many good moments and just like rallies in the room that like people just wouldn't even been able to realize, because like the way that the stream was operated, they didn't really show everybody's cameras or like none of like the key moments or like the room camera or nothing. They only showed the room camera at the end of the game, so it's like, what is that gonna do, you know? Or like right before the game. So beating the Heat, we felt like we made it through everybody, because the Wizards ended up losing to the Blazers. T-Wolves lost to the Blazers, and we were like, we never lost to the Blazers in scrims. Like, if we just ban Bash, take him out the game, ban all his builds, like, we don't have to worry about anything. So, game 1, I want to say game 1 was the game on Central, because they had the seed, I think. So, game 1, I ended up scoring 31 and 9. And I just remember, like, Bash was just, we just had Bash in, like, a chokehold. Like, Gio and Crown, they were just doing everything on the PNR. I remember the person who really taught me how to play, like, hash defense was Gio. Like, because before the league, I could say I was a pretty good hash defender, but Gio taught me to, like, sometimes step at the middle and, like, fall back and, like, just like, play your own game, you know? Like play fearless, know that you're better than the other sharp at all times, and just, like, always have that self-respect over everybody, like, because you know you're capable of, like, you know what you could do. So playing with Gio definitely molded me into the player that I ended up being. But I think after that Blazer series, yeah, like I said, Bash was on like an MVP run. He was dropping like 40 points on everybody. I think in that whole series, we ended up beating them 2-0, and he had like 20 plus turnovers, like some of the most turnovers that a guard could even have in a series. So I think that kind of woke the league up in a sense at the time. Like, okay, the Hornets have really good defense. Like, they might not be the best offensive team, but they could definitely shut you out the game defensively, and defense leads to offense. So, and then I just remember. What were you
gonna
say?
Say too, like I remember playing against you guys, and it was always like, make Sherm beat you, and if Sherm played good, it took you guys to another level. Because Sherm was always really smart. Like he wasn't always the best
He was
offensive
really
player,
smart.
but he was
But
smart. He knew how to control the game.
He was a consistent 17 plus, 10 plus with like 1 or 2 turnovers. Like
But
that's all you can ask for.
You'd get flashes from him sometimes, and like when you got those flashes, it made you guys even better.
Like he would score 30 or like 28.
Yeah,
like
and I always liked
type
Gio a lot, because Gio was an older dude and he was super mature, and like he was just
needed
real.
Gio
Like
on that team for sure.
like he just was real. Like he was one of those guys I think probably like kept you guys even keel. It reminds me a lot of Cleveland season 1. Like when you bench Crown, like unfortunately, and this goes for a lot of teams in the league over the years. Like I wish more teams would have benched their best players who had egos, because unfortunately, like a lot of times those egos, it made teams worse. Like it just did. Like it made teams worse. The way they handled themselves, the way they were in practice, the way whatever the case may be. Like we all kind of know like what was said or how it was handled. Listen, I had star players, no joke. I won't name who. I had star players in practice that used to come in with their headphones on, not even say a word during a scrim, and just mumble the music in their ear while we're playing in a scrim. I mean, like, that shit is fucking troll. Like, if I was a coach, if I ever took the job, which I didn't, I would have fucking benched. I don't give a fuck who it was, bro. I would have benched number 1 pick. I don't care who you were. Like, you would have got benched. Like, and that comes from me playing sports in real life. Like, it don't matter how good you are. If you're going to be detrimental to the team, you're not above the team. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it reminds me with you guys benching Crown, like, we went through that in Cleveland season 1. It wasn't the same. Like, what happened with Hood, like Hood ended up leaving. So Hood was gone for like a week or something or two. But I think at that same time, it kind of hit the reset button for everyone once Hood came back. Because we were going through there's a lot of ups and downs. Like we were trying to figure out the right lineup, and like Hood was an alpha, Jerry was an alpha. Like, Jerry wants to run this, Hood wants to run this. Like, it was just a lot going on, which I'm sure is the same with you guys. And like, if shit's going bad in scrims, like, motherfuckers are calling each other fucking pussy this and guard that. You suck. You can't fucking shoot here, there, all that shit. You know what I mean? Words are getting flown around like a motherfucker in these scrims, bro. So like,
yeah, literally, anything,
things are getting tossed, bro. Like, I mean, Hood knows. Like, me and Jerry I almost put Jerry down one scrim, bro. Like, I almost put the motherfucker down one scrim because of some shit he was saying. Like, unfortunately, you have to do that kind of stuff because you check the ego and you reset the team to where when they come back, like, they still have good they have that energy, that personality, but they're not as like AIDS. Like, they understand that they were being a little bit too much. So like, I think with you guys, when Crown ended up coming back, it was like, okay, I know what I can bring. I know my personality. I know my strengths. Like, let me cut back from being like AIDS or saying this or how I direct to people. Like, it's the same thing I used to tell Hood. You could say certain things, but you have to know how to say certain things to certain teammates, right? Like, each teammate has a different.
I was gonna say, like one thing I feel like people
right there for sure, Tyson.
One thing I feel like people don't know about the 2K League, bro, is like it's really not as easy as you think. It's just like, oh, you go play video games and you make money. Like Rigby and Talk, you guys have both been in the league. If you're not winning, like, it almost feels like you're saying, you're away from home for 6 months.
It feels like
the money
shouldn't even be there.
If you're not winning, you really not making that much money.
After
like,
taxes,
you're really not making anything,
24.
especially like dealing with like grown ass men like every single day of your life. You can't get a break. There's no like you can go somewhere for a couple days. Like, no, you're around these motherfuckers every single day, bro. So I feel like when shit's not working out, bro, like, that's when it gets real rough. And I feel like the teams who just get along the most, bro, and like develop like a real friendship and brotherhood always make it to the end.
Agreed. One thing though that was rough too, and this goes back to Rigby's team, like those COVID years. That first COVID, that shit was hard, bro. Hard.
Brother, I was gonna ask you, were you a part of the first COVID year? Because Rigby's saying season 4. I wasn't a part of season 4.
No, I was in the first COVID year. That was season 3 in Orlando.
That was the first COVID year. Yeah, no.
The first COVID year was season 3. That was the one where everything shut down.
Yeah, bro.
Season 4 though was where the season 4 is where the Season 4 is where the league kind of like adjusted to COVID and things were a lot different. It was a lot of remote play. It was like coming back and forth it was different. But those COVID years, bro, like the way they changed things, the problem was you were forced to be in front of everyone so much. And I don't give a fuck. Like, bro, you could be my literally my blood brother. Like, I don't want to be around you that much. Like, it's not a disrespect. I just don't want to be around you that much.
So that shit is hard. To bring up a story about my first COVID year, I was with Portland. Like, that was the team I was always trying to go to the whole time. So you guys already know the vibes with me, Dane, Nadal, Andron, Stan, like everybody. We were all literally like close as friends. And bro, I just remember when they announced, like, that was a stage team. Like, we always looked at us like, yo, when we get on the stage, we're gonna be a hard team to beat. And then going into that COVID year, especially when you have to play on West Coast remote, I mean, it's a different beast. And that was
when they had no central server, right?
No, nothing at all, bro. So it was West and East. And like, man, when I say we were getting the dog shit beat out of us by the worst teams in the league, like, we were getting fucked up. So like, bro, it hurt everyone's egos. It hurt like our expectations for the team. And bro, these guys are like, honestly, bro, some of my best friends in the league. That like, it wasn't comparable. And I remember, bro, like it just had got really bad where it felt like everyone was against one another. And I will never forget this moment. But bro, so just to talk about my boy Dane, everyone knows. I think Talks, you know, me and Dane had one of the best relationships like ever, bro. Like that was my boy. He flew out to my house from California. He stayed at my parents' crib. Like we was really, really close, bro. And I remember that year just like everything drifting, bro. Everybody getting into like their own you know, personal problems. And it went on for a while. And I remember my last game of the 2K League was in that remote Portland place. I couldn't tell you who we were playing, but we were getting the dog shit beat out of us. And we were already having communication problems on like telling people how it is. Like everyone was scared to like really tell you how it is because we're all boys, you know. Like we don't want anyone to take it really hard. Like no one could take the ego hit, you know. And
yeah.
But I remember this one game we were down by 30, and I said something like, "Yo, our defense is fucking ass," and Dane had said something like, "Yo, Brandon, why do you always have to be so toxic?" And I remember that year, bro. I remember, you can ask anybody on that Portland team, one of the hardest people to get to that year was Dane. It was hard to get to him. He was going like we were all going through like our own shit. We all wanted like to be outside, go to the gym, like do something, bro. We were trapped in our fucking houses. And I remember when he said that to me though, bro, like I had just so much built up inside of me that I just started cursing him out, bro. In the middle of the game, bro, I started calling him every word you can think of in the whole entire book. And I remember he had said something to me like, "Shut your skinny ass up," or something like that. Bro, he said like, "Shut your skinny bitch ass up," bro. I got out of the seat. I don't think anybody knows this story, unless maybe one of them.
I think I heard about it.
I got out of the seat, bro, and I went to like rush him. And on the way going over there, bro, I stepped on the plug of a PC and crashed the whole game, bro. I crashed the whole fucking 2K League game. The whole stream was crashed, bro. Dude, they did not. Ever since then, they didn't. They were like, "Yo, like, I don't know what you want me to tell you, bro. You can't play."
That's the thing, though. Like, in those years, like. This is the way I always approach my teams, right? Off the game, like Hood, you know this, like off the game, outside of practice,
we're like completely different people.
I'm cool with everybody, bro.
It's
like Rigby, no
once
joke.
You get in that room, it's like
you know how Lang is. Like, Rigby,
I don't know how to explain it.
Rigby, you've been in Memphis, so you know how Lang is, right? No joke. Lang had to tell me one day, "Yo, just tone it down a little bit," and because like not that I was like calling people names and shit. But when I'm somewhere, once I'm in that room and like we're locking in to try to get better, like I'm gonna call you out on everything, and like I want everyone to call me out on everything because that's
Brandon, there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it, bro.
I'm not saying there's not a way to do it. There is a way to do it. Like I'm not saying there's not a way to do it, but like for example, when I was in. I mean, Hood, you know, even when
there's
I was
also a certain tone that you got to speak to every different person with, based off the court and on the court, like altercations.
Like, you are right, and sometimes it's hard to find that balance. I'll say, like for me,
it's four players on the team, so yeah, it is definitely hard to figure out each person's different triggers and different ways to react to everything.
I think for me, what was the toughest was like in Cleveland. I knew, like, I realized early that I didn't have a big role, like, as a player. Like, I just realized that, like, the way the game played, the way Hood's play style was. No, but like, let me explain it though. Like, I didn't have a big role on like stats. Like, I knew the way the game was being played. That like the way Hood played, the way Jerry played, like they were gonna command the game. You know what I mean? So I realized like very early on that like I know the personality I have. That like I can make this team better. So like I knew how to get to Hood and like get the best out of Hood. Like, no, I'm not even kidding you, bro. I remember vividly on stage in a game, versus Dimes on stage. Hood fucked up like 3 or 4 possessions in a row or something. So his head's down. And no joke, bro. I hit the motherfucker on his shoulder. I was like, yo, bro, pick your fucking head up, bro. Like, you're straight. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, you throw a turnover, who gives a fuck? Like, let's go. He ends up dropping like 55 points and we beat him. And that's where that whole clip comes up and Hood's like, I'm fucking number 1. I should have been number 1. All that shit. It's like, I knew that I could get the most out of my teammates by just like the way I spoke to them and like my delivery, like you said, Rigby. Now, the problem was going into season 2, when I went to Memphis, I was around like a lot of sheltered kids, bro. Like Vandy was quiet. Authentic's not very confrontational. Like, who else we had? Like Universal Fiend. It was a bunch of like introverted people. So when I went to this team, I'm coming into this team now with a year of experience, right? I just made it to the 2K League semifinals. I probably should have made the finals. Like, I came off a good year. I think me and Hood, we made 3 out of 4 semifinals, I think, that year. Like, we had a good team that made it far. So I went in that year knowing, like, okay, I'm going to bring that leadership. I'm going to lock down this year, too. Like, I can be more vocal. And so, no joke, Rigby, like, in Memphis, you played – Rigby, did you play at Vandy at all or no?
Yeah, I just played with him this past year.
Okay, so you know, like, Vandy can be so good and so fucking bad.
But he has
like
times where he just shells himself out from like everybody.
I love
playing
Vandy.
I don't know how to explain it. Like
Vandy.
Vandy is so fun to play with. That's the thing. Like, he's really fun to play with when he's playing like Vandy. But there's
Vandy's good though. When he's good,
he just shells himself out. And
that's a big if.
We used to always talk about it because me and him probably talked the most on the team. And I feel like we used to always like either one of like we struggled throughout the year mainly because either one of us was having a really good game and the other one was kind of like selling themselves out because they didn't want to like step over each other's toes, I guess you could say, or like either both of us would just be out of the game just off of like other variables and other team stuff just going on. So
I also think like in the league, like, don't you think though?
Going back to season 4.
Go ahead.
Hold on, go ahead.
I was gonna say that, like, don't you think in the league? I mean, this is my point of view of it. Like, you have to have a point guard that's a leader. Like, you just have to. Definitely. Like, it's like having a quarterback that's not a leader. Like, to me, like, you have to have at least a PG that's gonna be vocal. Maybe not like so much of like a motivational leader, but they at least have to be vocal, like, to some degree. Yeah. And so my big thing with Vandy was
even if they're playing at their worst, like, just like fuck it, like, Vandy, keep on speaking, saying something.
Like, I'm not even trolling you guys, bro. I'm literally not even trolling you guys. Going into season 2, we must have been the best scrim team I ever seen in my life. Vandy, J-Rod, I was like, holy shit, like, these motherfuckers are shooting that bitch. We're blowing motherfuckers out. I mean, bro, blowing motherfuckers out. I'm like, yo, maybe like this is a blessing in disguise. Like, I'm on a God squad. We go and play. We must have been scoring 85 points a game in scrims, but I'm not even kidding you. We load up on stage the first game of the year against Hood and the T-Wolves. We scored like 38. I'm like, what the fuck did I just see, bro? Like, Vandy's not saying nothing. He's not calling nothing. He's like fucking up and he's like putting his head down. And like, so in practice, Rigby, I used to always be like, you know, when someone's shelling up, you know, when someone's like just kind of in their own head. So I used to always tell people like, yo, this is the time to not be in your head. Like, this is the time for you to say the shit. This is the time for you to fuck up. Like, this is the time for you to call someone out. I'd rather you do it here instead of just doing it on stage. So let's get used to doing it now. You know what I mean? So if it ever happens on stage, we're not like, oh, we're all shell shocked, like, oh shit, what the fuck? Like, and that comes from me playing Halo. Like, that's how it was in Halo. So I remember, like, bro, Lang had to come up to me one day, Rigby, was like, hey, Tox, like, you know, I really appreciate, you know how Lang is, like, I really appreciate what you're doing, Tox. Like, I really do. But I need you to just take it down a little bit, Tox. Take it down a little bit. And I was like, yo, bro, like, that's when I knew. I was like, I can't be me here. Like, you know what I mean? I can't be me here. At least with Hood, like, I can look at Hood and be like, yo, bro, stop being a bitch. You're playing bad. We got 3 quarters left. You're good. Like, let's get it rolling. You know what I'm saying? And he would kind of get it rolling. And he would start picking it up. And like from there, we'd feed off his energy. So it's like
that's how I feel like season 4, to go back to season 4, like, especially during like the times where like I would get down on myself a lot season 4. Like being a rookie, first time like living outside the house, like living away from home, from my family. So like I was 19 and being with like leaders like well, like off the court leaders, I guess you could say, and like older guys
You also were
as
with
far as like
strong
Gio
personalities, though.
and
You
like
had very
Crown.
strong personality. You had very strong
Well, yeah,
personalities on your team.
Gio and Crown specifically, I feel like they just molded me into like such a great like player, like mentally, just being able to take like mental like fortitude and stuff like that throughout the game. Because like there was times where like I feel like I would just be killing people, and then I would just have like a random quarter where like I would just die down. Like I feel like that year I could have been averaging maybe like 35, 33, but like there was times where I would just shell myself out randomly throughout the game. Like and West, Geo, Sherm, and Crown, like even like Doug's, like they used to always like tell me like nobody can guard me. They like knew
Yep.
that I just had it in me. Like I just had that extra factor a lot of people didn't have in the league at that time. So yeah, like I just remember Geo and Crown, like they were on my right. So Geo was in the middle. The way that the Hornets facility was set up, like Sherm and Pete were on the other side. We had point guard and center over there. And then on the other side, we had shooting guard, which was me. Geo at lock, he was in between me and Crown. So like it was like a perfect way that the room was set up, especially during the turn bracket. Like everything just like everybody's own emotions. Like we were just saying whatever to each other. Everybody was just it was like complete reset. Like remember how I spoke about right before the season started, like when we were playing the league build game, and like it was like we were just anybody could say anything to each other. It was like we were just brand new people again. So like when Crown got subbed in, like it felt like we were like back to where we were and like before the season even was close to starting. Like everybody was just knocking down their shots, playing defense in every lane. Like it was a lot of gameplay things that like we could break down that like you would know that like we were just in a different element. Like mentally, everybody was just fully
the thing
engaged.
is too though, like when you're and then I want to jump to Dirk real quick. Like when you're we all know this, bro. When you're in that bubble of like, I can't fuck up, I can't say something to someone because they're gonna tweak. Like that is the worst, bro. That is the worst feeling in the like. I can't tell you something else that's worse than that. I fucking cannot stand that as a human being or a player. I remember in Philly, I had came to Philly late because I had some personal shit going on. And the first day I walk into practice, I was like, what the fuck is going on here, bro? I mean, like, they had just made a tip-off finals. Like, I thought I was rolling into a squad that was, like loving each other. These motherfuckers didn't say a word to anyone, bro. Like, they didn't say a word to each other. Dre, I could tell, did not fuck with people. And this is, like, keep in mind, this is my first day, bro. Literally my first day. And so, no joke, I haven't even said hi to – I haven't even introduced myself to Dre yet. I pulled Dre out the room. First day. Before I even said hi to him, introduced myself, and I was like, "Yo, bro, like, what's good? Like, keep it real." Like, in order to break that barrier, you have to keep shit, bro. You have to keep it real. Like, there's no other way to do it. I used to tell Hood and them all the time, like, "Yo, everyone come down to the room, bro. We're having a meeting. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Like, you know, you like if you don't and you play like that, I don't give a fuck, bro. I don't care how good you are. You're not winning.
Not to cut you off though, bro, but I think a lot of the 2K, everybody knows this, bro. Like the 2K community is actually like filled with people who I don't think have like seen sunlight. Like they haven't went outside and like had normal interactions or been a part of a sports team.
Before you get too deep in that, and like Dirk, I want you to touch on this, Dirk, because you've been around esports for as long as I have. I don't feel like the 2K community is that different than other communities. Like everyone says, like the 2K community is so toxic, or they have guys. Bro, every community is like that. When I played Halo, they were all like that too. Like I'm like Dirk, COD is COD not like that? Like I mean, I feel like that's the same shit in COD.
Oh, everybody, Call of Duty people are more toxic than 2K easily, because like
you know,
you come from a time in like COD and Halo where dudes like it was a different level of toxicity. I feel like 2K there's more verbal toxicity. Call of Duty and Halo toxicity was like DDoSing you, taking your IP, fucking doxing you, like nerd shit.
Sending
like
pizzas.
That used to really fuck. Yeah, like that was that weird shit. But then like you would go to LAN events, right? But like I feel like with how large the Call of Duty scene was and how often you would see people going to these LANs, like, yeah, you would have like the kind of awkward people, but they all had their own group. So you had more personality in those other esports because of like the open tournaments and because of how big the community is. Whereas 2K, like what, you're gonna see them like once a year at a UPA event, and then if they're in the league, like you'll see them. And then then also I think that the new gen of gamers that are coming up, like these guys who are 18 years old and like between the 18 to 20 range, like that came from COVID. Bro, they got no interaction. They were virtual schooled. They were fucking couldn't go outside. They're weird. I mean, it's like it sounds like I was a fucking weirdo too when I was in high school, but like at least I could go outside and chose to be a weirdo. They were forced to be it, you know?
That's what I was gonna say though, Dirk. I feel like those Call of Duty people, like how you're saying, like, yeah, there's toxic in every community, but like the 2K community is actually weird. Like they're weirdos, bro. They're definitely weird.
I feel
they're
like with
they're
those
not somebody I
games
could go to a
specifically
nightclub
though, like
with and like talk to a female with. Like fuck no. Imagine me going with fucking turn up defense to talk to a girl. Like, bro, I would fucking rather jump off the bridge, bro. It'd be over. It'd be over, bro.
Wait. Let me say something real quick. I feel like with those games specifically though, like shooting games, like you can kind of control your own like skill level and like everything
100%.
in like in its own sense. So like I feel like as far as 2K, like people kind of knew who didn't grind the game. So like if you ended up on a team to where people that you knew were just gonna be kind of like you're gonna have to build them up throughout the year, like that already was a stigma just on that person alone, just coming into the season. Like you're already expecting just complete utterly dog shit, like everything to just go bad. So
that's a great
that
point,
definitely
bro.
plays a point on like every team.
No, that is a great point because I'll never forget telling myself when I got drafted and like played in the league, I was like, bro, this is the easiest game to go pro in my life. I was like, I'm sitting in a.
It's not close.
I was like, bro, I'm sitting in a corner waiting to get the ball, getting paid.
It's not close.
I'm like, this shit's fucking easy, bro. Like
I
went from playing.
Go ahead. The way you went pro is by a fucking random selection just from playing in a fucking combine, bro.
It was insane because like I'm going from playing professional Halo 2 and Halo 3. Like I'm talking prime Halo years, bro. Like no bullshit, prime Halo years. Like where I'm like you couldn't be a crutch. You could not be a crutch back then. Like if you're a crutch, you're dropped. I mean that's just how it was. Like you had to be able to compete at a high level in Halo to be on a pro level. Then I get drafted to play 2K, and I'm sitting here watching fucking Hood take 25 shots a game, and I'm getting 2. I'm like, bro, the check still fucking hits the same. I was like, this is the easiest shit in the world. So I do think you make a very good point there, Rigby, because going into a season, if a certain person ends up on a certain team, like there's already the stigma built around them. There's already like if they fuck up, people are on them even more, or like there's just more to it there, which I 100% agree. So I think that's a really good point. Dirk, I want to go to you real quick. We're gonna probably run a little bit over time. It's already 8:57, so we'll do a little bit over time. But there's
been a lot of good topics and side conversations going on now.
Yeah, I know. That's why sometimes it's tough with these because like it can go in a bunch of different directions, which I don't mind. But like I don't want to keep Mar forever. So
the alcohol has just gotten into me, bro. It's just getting into me.
Hey man, I gotta pay Mar overtime. You know what I'm saying? I'm trolling. Dirk, with you, I want to talk about you real quick. Like, for one, any like unique stories from like the broadcaster side that you guys heard about, or whatever, or anything you want to touch on there, or if not, like, talk to me about like the year you went to be a player, and like I know you played a lot with Ant, and like so I mean, I don't know, like from the outside looking in, like everyone knows like Ant is like the toxic guy, so like curious of like that whole experience of like playing with Ant, trying to get drafted, everything you heard, So like, yeah, bro, go ahead.
Rigby used to play with us. We used to those team up.
Okay.
Those team up league build lobbies. Yeah, we used to have. You remember when they made up the team up league build? Yeah. And this was like a post draft thing. Like me, Rigby, Ant, Slazer, and who else was it? Who
Mario.
Lock? Yeah,
we had Mario. We
fucking like dominated those like on PlayStation and Xbox. Like we never lost. Like nobody could like you
Connor
could put
was on the team too.
Yeah, you could put the fucking super teams that everybody was playing with back then. Like we literally purposely all got Xboxes just so we could go run the team up league build lobbies and like flip flop back and forth console. We never lost a series like the whole time that we played. Anyway, touching upon, because I feel like a lot of people saw the 2K League broadcast, and I think that a majority of people thought that everything was just like fucking happy-go-lucky, all best friends. Bro, motherfuckers hated each other. I'm gonna be fucking honest with you. Starting season 1, there's a lot of people who didn't like Larry Ridley. Moving forward, there's a lot of people who didn't like Scott. Like it was a cluster.
Dirk, was that the bald guy?
Yeah, he was the well. He had a crisp hairline. That was he was the guy who was hosting at the start of the year on season.
He always
1.
didn't he always wear like the suit or much?
Yeah, he always wore he wore a lot of like button up shirts.
Yeah.
But like my issue was. Oh no, Phil's dope. Phil's the one who does like the Super Smash. I fuck with Phil.
Yeah, Phil's good.
But like, so like, see, here's my issue, right? Is that basically you had me who was super knowledgeable about the game, coming off like the fucking draft of nailing everybody on the head, of not even knowing these guys, but like 7.5 hours of just fucking nonstop, like the whole time. Then I go into facts about everybody. Yeah, like, and then I go into a broadcast team of everybody who knows nothing about the game of 2K and everything. Like, obviously, Scott knew basketball and everything like that, but I feel like to have an esports feel, you need esports style commentary. Like that was like always my kind of thing. So, but that's why me and Scott worked out so well with each other. For me, I always like to stay on players' good sides. Like if you go back and watch any broadcast the past 8 years, I don't think you'll ever catch me talking bad about a player ever. Critiquing them about gameplay, yes. Shitting on them like this guy shouldn't even be in the league or things along those lines.
Rare 3.
Yeah, like,
bro.
I like to be the one, because like players used to come to me a lot season 1 because like a lot of them maybe watched Call of Duty or they knew I was like a veteran in like the esports space. So I would have like a lot of hearts to hearts with players before games. I'd be up in the practice room 3 hours before shows every single time, like talking to guys. I wanted that to be like a personal level, and I never wanted to ruin that relationship with anybody. Like, granted, like obviously, like, there's some people that you would just critique them on broadcast and they think that you fucking hated them, and they were like, "Oh man, this motherfucker doesn't know what he's talking about." I'm like, bitch, I know more than fucking everybody in this league about this damn game. That's all I fucking did for 8 years is play fucking 2K, study 2K. It's all I ever did. So like, broadcast team had some friction. Season 1, it was more Larry Ridley. Moving forward, there was a lot of people that weren't on Scott Cole's good side. Obviously, me and him were working side by side the whole time. And then the best the broadcast team was in terms of chemistry was when I got moved to the play-by-play role. JT came in as like the analyst, color commentator, and then Harris and all them kind of shifted. Easily the best chemistry that we ever had. So like it was good. The one story that was what? So that was when Threes got introduced. That was in Indy, and then Scott was still doing play-by-play. And then I moved into it season 6. Season 6 onwards, where I did full play-by-play. Funny story with the broadcast team, though, and nobody knows this because like it was kind of kept under wraps because like the FBI and NYPD got involved with this.
What?
So so at the play, do you remember the hotel season?
That's like a crazy shit.
Yeah, you remember the hotel season 2 downtown Times Square, the Hilton. You remember that?
Yeah.
So
who doesn't?
So like Phil would bring his laptops with him, and he was like doing like reaction streams and everything. And obviously, like, I'm the fucking tech nerd. I help everybody set everything up. So I'm like fucking in my boxers, in bed, ready to fall asleep. Phone dings. Phil's like, "Hey, I need you to come upstairs and help me with something." I was like, "Bro, I just got done setting everything up. What do you need help with?" He goes, "No, I need you to help me with a prank." So I'm like,
"Oh, I heard about this.
What did you have in mind?" So he's like, "I need you to come up and start like banging the fuck out of my door and saying like, I need to shut the fuck up or you're going to like beat my ass and shit like that. And like, basically just put on like, you're going to fucking kill me. Like almost like in that sense." So I was like, "Hey bro, it's like 1:00 in the morning." So I'm like, fuck it. Why not? Put on a pair of shorts, put on my hoodie on, go up 2 floors, heart's beating, getting out of the elevator. So I'm like, he gave me the right room, which knowing him, I'm surprised he didn't. I thought he was going to fucking troll me and I'd be banging on some random motherfucker's door and he'd be at the end of the hall, like with a camera or something. So I'm watching his stream as I'm walking up to the door. So I'm like, okay, it's go time. So I fucking like, when I say bang, dude, I'm like slamming the shit out of this. Like it's fucking vibrating the wall and everything. People started opening their doors down the hall. So I open it. I put on like a New York accent. I'm like, "Hey, motherfucker, can you shut the fuck up? Like I got kids in the other fucking room that are sleeping and all I keep hearing is you fucking screaming and yelling about this same fucking bullshit." He goes, "Oh man, like you can't tell me what the fuck to do." I'm like, "You're a fucking bitch. I'll fucking hit you. I'll fucking come in there. I'll fucking smoke your ass." Like going in on him. And basically he goes like, "Oh, like you're an ugly piece of shit. Who the fuck would reproduce with you?" And slams the door shut, right? So I'm walking away like, oh shit, dude, that was so good. Clip starts getting like traction on Twitch. Drama Alert picked it up. DeSerto started posting articles about it. So I woke up the very next morning, right? And that's when I started seeing everything blowing up. And so I text Phil, I'm like, damn, bro, like we fucking did that shit. Like everyone's fooled. So I started noticing, I went down to the lobby. I'm getting ready to go to the studio. There's fucking NYPD like station just everywhere. And I'm like, damn, there's never fucking cops in this hotel. So I was like, whatever, get an Uber, go to the studio. I didn't hear from Phil that morning. Phil never texted me back after I said, damn, bro, we fucking punked everybody. I get to the studio. Matt Arden comes in the green room with TJ and goes, Dirk, can we talk to you real quick? So I'm like, yeah, sure.
Oh, shit.
I go out there. He sits there. He goes, so what happened at the hotel? I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, like, you can just tell us Phil snitched on you. And I'm like, oh. And I'm acting dumb because I thought it was like a harmless prank. So I'm like,
man, that's
like,
crazy.
what do you mean? I was like,
you're not even thinking you did something
with
wrong.
Yeah, I'm like, are you talking about the prank I did with Phil, like where I went to go upstairs? He goes, yes, you fucking idiot, the prank you did with Phil. I'm like, yeah, bro. He texted me at like 1 o'clock in the morning, said, come bang on the door. Like, I got all the messages. He goes, I hope you know that because all these news outlets started posting about it, whenever this is like the NBA security team is sensational. Whenever there's any type of a threat, that shit gets like fucking taken to the next level. Picked up by the FBI. The FBI then went to the NYPD. The NYPD then went to NBA security. That is why security was heightened for the rest of the week there, because they thought that somebody was putting an attack on one of their fucking commentators. So they ran me like the whole rundown of like everything that happened. They're like, you're lucky that we have your back and that this is a fucking prank, because like we were ready to just like cut you loose and be done. Like same thing with Phil. So Phil comes walking into the fucking green room and I'm just staring at him and he's like not making eye contact with me, like looking away. I was like, you fucking bitch. Like completely just joking. I was like, you stupid motherfucker. I was like, you're from Baltimore and you're fucking snitching? I said, what the fuck? And so like he said, I'm fucking sorry, Dirk. I'm sorry. Like doing all this shit. And like for the rest of the week, whenever we were together, I swear to God, they were just fucking eyeing us. And like they wouldn't allow us at that point to hang out like after the shows. Like that was like a restriction that they had, because they were like, yeah, they were like, we don't want you guys fucking doing anything again. Because he wanted to, like, a week later, he wanted to do IRL streams in Times Square. And I was like, I'm like, he's like, I want you to be my camera van. I was like, bro, I'm not fucking anything you do content-wise.
Hands off now.
I want fucking out. I don't want anything to do with like any content that you have planned, bro. Like you almost fucking made me lose my job, and this is back in fucking season 2. So that was a funny thing that like I would always tell. And the craziest shit is that obviously like Brendan and all of them knew. I didn't actually talk to Brendan about that until we got to Orlando for the ticket. And I was like asking him, I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. He goes, Dirk, I fucking love you. That was the dumbest shit you could ever fucking done. You sent everybody into like a spiraling panic.
The thing about BD though, bro, like BD was so like he was so cool, bro. I don't think people realize like how much shit BD dealt with on the back end to like make sure no one really got fucked over like with dumb shit they did. Like BD looked out for me so much sometimes, bro. Like I remember when I got hired to the 2K League, I got offered the Cavs job and I got offered the Lakers job, and I took the job with BD instead. And I remember this was when like 2K, I want to say like 22 was coming out, and Rigby, you know him. I don't know if Dirk and Hood know him, but this kid named Remember 38, he got like a bunch of copies of 2K early, like a bunch. He posted a picture like in the back of his car with like 50 copies or 100 copies of the game early. And so he hit me up on my DMs and was like, yo, Tox, like, can you help me like get people that would want to buy them? I was like, oh, bro, what? Easy, bro. And that's like back in the time when I was doing the giveaways and shit. So my Twitter was jumping, bro. Like my Twitter was jumping. Yeah, bro, crazy active. So I made one post of like me and 38 on like FaceTime and like older copies. And I posted, I was like, yo, who needs 2K early? Hit my DMs. And like my bro, all night, my shit was flooded. So we're just like, I'm just giving them people that buy the game, bro, probably hundreds of people. And then like, it was like the next day or two, I go into work and BD's like, yo, Tox, I need to talk to you. I was like, all right, like, what's up? And I didn't really think of it because BD, we always used to like just shoot the shits. And he pulls up a screenshot of me on the FaceTime with 38. He's like, what are you doing right here? And I was like, oh, like he said he had extra copies of the game, so I was just helping get rid of them. And so go to find out, 2K, like the heads of 2K had seen the post and hit up BD direct, and basically we're telling BD like, off of my fucking head, like he's done, like he's fired, like he can't work for you no more, like fire him. Like meanwhile, bro, I just moved to New York, I just bought an apartment, like I just like everything. So BD like did what he had to do, and like nothing ever came out of it, and I was good. So I always like give him respect for that. But fast forward, like I think it was the next year, they had 2K Community Day at the NBA office in New York. So the same office I work at every day. And they emailed BD and like my boss Lindsay and was said toxic cannot be in the building during Community Day.
That's so ridiculous.
So like, bro. So basically I had to work from home that day, and like it is crazy, but like BD even told me like, yo man, like I think it's bullshit, and like I understood what I did later on down the road, but like, you know, I will like back to BD, like he always did his best to like not let it linger or like not let it become more to like what some people actually did. And I won't name names and get into specifics, but like some people did some like some shit that should have some real consequences behind them, and like they didn't, because BD kind of just handled it in a way to make sure no one got fucked over. But last thing I'll say, and then we gotta run because we're a little over. And listen, guys, I'd love to have you guys on again.
I gotta tell my playing story.
All right, go ahead, Dirk. We'll end with that. Go ahead.
Well, so like I never talked about this before. Like I kept it quiet for so long.
Yeah.
So going into that playing year, so that would have been going into season 3. I interviewed. So I wanted to coach initially. And so I interviewed with the Kings, the Lakers, the Blazers, the T-Wolves, and I think that's it. Oh, and I was in the final stages of probably every single one of those interviews, but they're like, you're drafted, so we're not going to move forward with you. I even, for my T-Wolves interview, they flew me to Minnesota and put me in a hotel and everything, interview with JB, met with like the 3 executives there, met with the CEO, and basically was like hyping up this game plan that he had about like me and Bear working side by side with content to like pull in ad revenue and sponsorship revenue, which I was like, man, I'm fucking here for it. But the same shit, they're like, let's see how the combine goes. I think you're going to make it. I think you'll get drafted. So like, well, we're going to have to move on with somebody else. So that was initially how things went. Now, obviously I had that fucking amazing combine, was fucking on everybody, had a great pre-draft, was fucking dominating like every center that was in the fucking class. Right. And I can't remember at the top of my head how many teams I interviewed with. A lot of them, some of them skipped me because they're like, we just know, like messaged me. They're like, we know who you are. We don't need more information.
You know, like, wait, real quick. Can I guess? Can I guess who sent you that message? Because I think I got the same message before.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was it Jonah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Jonah sent me the same shit, bro. Jonah was like, yo, Talks, I'm not going to give you an interview. I just know you already. I was like, all right, cool. So that's funny.
Yeah. So Jonah messaged me that. I had an interview with who the fuck was it? The T-Wolves, obviously, because I did that whole process. I interviewed with the Blazers, the 76ers, the Wiz, I think the Kings, and then that was kind of it. Like I didn't get a lot of interviews, and so like that kind of worried me, like with the whole process. But I still remember this. I hate throwing him under the bus, but Jeff Terrell, that motherfucker said, "If you're at this pick, Dirk, you're a steal, bro. Like you're not gonna even make it to us. Like you're gonna have to. Like we'll pick you if you like end up landing here." So I was like, whatever. But of course, like I thought with playing with Dave Fry and all them, and that Reese gaming that we had going on, I thought I was gonna go to the Wiz. No bullshit. I thought.
Yeah, I honestly thought you were going to the Wiz. That's what I thought too.
So I think everybody thought that.
Well, they weren't going to fly me out to the draft, which I was kind of like, man, I fucking worked with you guys the past 2 years, giving you my all the broadcast, and now I'm jumping this into a new thing. I got more traction than any fucking prospect ever going into the league. ESPN articles, fucking news interviews, like you fucking name it. Like I was all over the place. I had Call of Duty community behind me, Gears of War fucking community, MLG people, like everything. So they finally agreed to like fly me out. Went out there, and you know I was sitting fucking center stage. I had JBM sitting next to me. I remember JBM sitting there like fishing. He's like, yo, man, like, am I getting picked number 1? And I'm like, bro, fuck, I'll tell you, yes, you're getting picked number 1. He goes, bro, I'm going to fucking get you to DC. Like, I promise, I'm going to fucking get you there. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I'm fucking sweet, bro. I'm going to fucking DC. So like, the draft is going on and everything. draft is going on and everything, and so like I wasn't expecting first round like whatsoever. I was like I thought it'd be mid second. I think that's where that whiz pick was. So I was like mid second or early second is realistic, because like you look at that draft class when they came into the league, they fucking sucked, bro. That was an embarrassment. Those fucking rookie centers that came in season 3, and I was like, damn, just fucking hell, I'd do much better than that. I promised to God I would. So draft's going on, that whiz pick rolls around. I think they picked Dini, who obviously, like, that pick went on to fucking win him a title. So I was like, shit, you know? But in the time, I'm like, man, why the fuck did they just pick Awkward and then Nudini? It's like,
we all thought that. Sense. We all thought that, bro.
And so I'm fucking sitting there. I can feel, I know the way Matt Arden works and the production team works. They want the eyes on Dirk, the fucking camera going to Dirk. Always a fucking shot of me staring off into the fucking distance. I'm looking at Harris upstairs fucking staring down at me with his phone. Apparently he's texting people like saying, yo, pick Dirk, blah, blah, blah. Hearing fucking Scott Cole in the venue. Oh, Dirk the Caster is still on the board, blah, 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 blah. Like over and over. So it gets to like the end of the draft, and this is when it's like everyone's starting to move up. You got Flacco, you had Chess there, all these guys that were like thinking about getting drafted. And it gets to the final pick, right? It was the T-Wolves. And obviously I had interviewed to coach with them. And this is when 6 men were still there. So I was like, bro, I got a 6-man spot at least. I got a content spot, right? I'm just going to fucking stream, make videos. That's all I'm going to fucking do. Feast comes walking out. He goes to the podium. This motherfucker looks at me right in the fucking eyes and smiles. No bullshit. Locks eyes with me and smiles. I'm like, motherfucker, I'm going to fucking T-Wolves. Says with the 57th pick in the 2000 NBA2K League Season 3 draft, T-Wolves Gaming select Detoxies. I'm like, bro, I got out of there so fucking fast. Like, I had people trying to stop me. Like, yo, Dirk, gonna be okay. I sprinted out of that place. I never did this shit because I'm a cheap ass. I waved down a fucking taxi like in the movies. I'm a taxi. Took me back to the hotel. Bro, I started bawling my fucking eyes out. And of course, I opened up Twitter, and the first thing I'm end up seeing is like, this shit's rigged. This shit's rigged. This shit's rigged. And no, I don't question the integrity of stuff. I think that with everything that was going on and with some of the guys that got drafted and some of the opportunities, I think that there was some shit going on somewhere. I don't know where it was, but like, it just was that, it was that weird and that weird of a feeling that like, I felt like a guarantee, and I was one of the better centers that were in there, and I could flex and play power forward, but like, man, I didn't get picked at all. Like
let me ask you this. Like, do you think, and like, this is just literally I'm just bullshitting here. I have no idea. Like, do you think a part of you feels like the league didn't want to see you get drafted?
Oh, dude, they were like,
for sure.
I say 100% because they didn't know, like, the replacements that they had for broadcast they weren't even going to pull 2K guys in. You saw them, like, trying to venture out and grab other dudes in esports, and it would not have been the same. Like, I know for a fact they did not want me to fucking sniff. Anytime I talked about playing again after, they wouldn't even let me play in the fucking showcase games because they knew how bad I wanted to actually be a player. They thought that like that was gonna drive me to go do all that other shit. So yeah, like I went undrafted, but here's a story nobody knows other than unless you were a part of Gen G in season 3. I got a call from Daniel Say one morning. He goes, "Hey Dirk, how you doing?" And I was like, "Whoa, like what's going on, man?"
Fuck
like,
Daniel Say.
I was like, "Bro, like you never have ever called me before." So I was like, "What's going on?" So he goes, "Here's the situation. Lucky Yi can't make it in from China because of COVID. So Gen G needs a replacement player, and you're number 1 on their list." I already talked to Matt, already talked to the group. It's like, do you want to go play for Gen G? Like, you would go fly out to California, you'd move out there for the rest of the season, you would go finish it out with them. And I didn't have to think twice. I'm like, yeah, 100%. I was like, fly easily. So I get a call from Len. Yeah, so I get a call from Len. Len's like, "Hey man, like I know Daniel talked to you. You're number 1 on our list. Like we have a couple other guys, but like you're the one that we definitely want." And so I'm like, "Yeah, dude. Like I'm in for it. Like let me know when you want to lock it in." He's like, "Cool. Like later on today we're gonna have a players meeting and like discuss everything." Day goes on. It gets like 8:00 at night. Len calls me. He goes, "Hey man, like I just want to be brutally honest with you. Like there was just some players who had some pushback and they didn't want you on the team. So we decided to go with Flacco." What? So I'm like, like, that's interesting. So what that lineup was like Deadeye, Killy, Shifty Kai. And I can't remember who the other ones were.
I want to say turnover on that team?
Yeah, I think so.
It was
But
turned
like
up.
I still never got down to the bottom of it, like who it was. I mean, I have a good idea. It's probably Kai that like restricted it. And then
Yeah, I was gonna say like I would guess it was Kai.
I heard this a lot throughout the whole process. That there was a lot of players on teams, specifically even talking about the 76ers, that were like, if you draft a commentator, I'm not fucking playing with them. Like I'm not fucking playing. Like if you fucking draft him, that's where Tucker locks up ended up getting picked to the fucking 76ers.
Yeah.
Like it was like that, and that was like crushing because I'm like, damn, man, I'm like, what the fuck? What does this have to do with fucking anything to do with it? If anything, it helps the fucking cause. So
like it's that like life we live, because like when I was a player, like majority of the players, like no joke, I was the content guy. I was the eyeball guy. Like, was I actually good? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really start getting like that kind of respect until I got traded to Orlando, and then like we turned that team around. Like, that's when people started saying like, okay, like Tox was actually good, but like it sucks because like you chased a goal and were really good at your goal as a commentator, and then knew you were good enough to play, but like now you're fighting. Like you unfortunately put yourself in a position where you start fighting against yourself, which sucks.
Yeah. Like so that whole situation, like I'm happy I went through it, like it was fun, but like going back to like commentating after chasing something and putting like everything all in on it, like I missed out on like going to Europe, going to fucking South Korea with the league and like doing all that shit. So like that sucked. But I mean, if I would like years down the line, if Ant would have been on a team and I would have been trying to become a player, Ant would have drafted me. I would have been on the fucking Pistons.
The thing is, too, Dirk, like it's one of those things. It's one of those things, and we'll close out because I know we're over time. Like, it's one of those things, Dirk, where it's like, I'm glad you did it because I would have hated for you to look back and be like, damn, like I wonder what would have happened if I did it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fucking do it.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
I understand
that's
that
how
too.
I look at it, bro.
I feel like specifically with like drafts and shit too, like it's a lot of deeper politics and like little
100%.
side shit that people just pitch in, and it's a whole
100%.
bunch of rumors and people just create, and then it gets to the last person, it just sounds completely different. Like I definitely like the fact that you stayed on like as a commentator though, because without you being a commentator, the league, I don't know how far it could have got.
You were such a pivotal voice that it would have been weird to have that coming through someone else. And like it's tough because like with these drafts, it's so there's so much politics that go behind it, bro. Like when I was in Orlando and I was involved with the draft that year, like Jonah, he would involve us, but then like he had his idea of who he wanted to. So like if it didn't match, like ultimately the coaches for the most part would go with their pick, right? Like no offense to this dude, like I never mean any harm by any of this stuff. Like we didn't want DJ Bama in Orlando. Like none of us played with him. None of us knew him. Like we didn't want DJ Bama. To be honest, that year I was trying to sell Hood to Orlando that year. And like some guys were down. Jonah was a little worried because of just like Hood, like shit that had gone on with Hood. And then like Reed and them also wanted Rel, because Rel in 2K20, like he played a lot of positions, like he was good at a lot of positions. And then like out of nowhere, Jonah was like DJ Bama. So it's like it's tough, bro. Because like I
almost snuck on that team too if I was eligible. I almost did. Yeah, like a lot of people don't know that.
Bro, I remember us talking about you, and like it's tough, man, because like so much goes into it. And like one thing about Jeff Terrell too, Dirk, is like I love Jeff Terrell. Like I was there with the Philly, but like he'll sell a fucking pipe dream. You know what I mean? Like that's just Jeff Terrell, bro. He'll sell a pipe dream, and bro, he would trade his cousin. Like he don't like that motherfucker will trade you he don't give a fuck, bro. He'll trade you in a second.
Though. I love that.
You do, bro, but you don't, bro. I remember being in Philly, bro, like my first day. I'm sitting here fucking watching underrated goat scrim. And this would, and no joke, we're in on this because I know Mara's gonna fucking kill me. First day I get to Philly, bro. No joke. First fucking day I walk into the facility. Jeff goes, Tox, you're scrimming, you're loading up at lock today. I said, fuck it, let's ride. Like this is my chance to show like I should be the starting lock. I knew I should have been going in playing with Burn and Walnut. Like that's what they wanted. We play the Bucks, right? The Bucks have Reg, like that's that Reg team. We fucking beat the shit out of them. I mean, by 40 probably. Both games.
They were really bad that year. Really bad.
They were bad. And I had Reg in a chicken box, and that team was just bad. We had them folded. Go to find out like a week later, right? We ended
Wait,
up.
wait,
if you
wait,
guys
wait.
remember,
I got a question. Was
ahead.
that before the trade or after the trade?
Before. That's before everything.
Okay.
So at the time we still have Cali Rack. It's like me, Cali Rack, like all those dudes. So we beat the fuck out of the Bucks, bro. And then Jonah, or not fucking Jonah, fucking Jeff, a week later comes up to me, Walnut, and Steve, and he's like, "Yo, I think I'm gonna trade Cali Rack for A-Rooks. Are you guys in for that?" And we're like, "Yeah, cool, whatever." And Jeff ends up going to me and going, "Yo, Talks, I gotta be brutally honest." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "That first day I had you come in to scrim against the Bucks, I did that because they wanted to trade for you and they wanted to see if you still had it." And I was like, that's the first day I got there after being late because of personal reasons. The first day I stepped in the facility, and he didn't even I said, "Jeff, if you would have traded me on Jesus Christ, strike me down, I would have got in my car and drove the fuck back to Florida and told y'all kick rocks." Like, the fuck? Like, that, but that's how Jeff
that's
operates,
like trying to throw you in a fire just to see if you can
but that's how
survive.
Jeff operates, bro.
That's crazy.
Jeff, I love Jeff because he's like one of the more traditional coaches I ever had, but he will do whatever he got to do to make his team better. And I mean, I respect that because at the end of the day, that's his job, right? So I can respect that. But all right, we're 25 minutes over, so I don't want to keep people too long. I know Mars got to run. So guys, listen, I appreciate you guys coming on. I'm gonna reach out to you guys. Like, I would like to do this shit more with you guys. I feel like there's more we can talk about that we can even dive into more.
Man,
like,
what? It goes, man,
it gets deep.
Keep
It gets
going.
deep. It gets
I know
really deep. We
Keep
keep going all
going.
night. For real.
So I'll reach out to you guys and we'll plan some more. And then what I'll do is, like, I won't even have you guys come on at 7:30. Like, I'll just have you guys come on at 7. Like, we'll just run like the full 2 hours because there's a lot to talk about. So I'll reach out to you guys about dates and times and we'll get it figured out. But appreciate you guys coming on. I'll hit you guys up on Twitter and we'll figure out another date to have you guys on. All right, boys.
All right, Brandon.
For having me, man.
All right, boys.
I'll see you at the Hard Rock soon. We're all in on red.
Yeah.
All in on red.
Come on, baby. 1,000 on
stop fucking
black.
trolling me. Stop trolling me. I'm actually down. I'm down. Yo. Hey, chat. Super fun one, dude. I love those dudes. Some of my, like, Hood's one of my closest friends. Rigby, great dude. Dirk, I've known forever. So that's a great episode. Those are one of those ones where it's tough because, like, we can go on forever. There's so many stories. There's so many things to talk about. So we'll do more of those periodically. And I'll bring in different faces of the 2K League that I think have some good stories to talk about. But I want to bring those guys back on and give them like another go around. But so just to close out, just to give you guys a reminder, tournament next week. So if you guys want to register, if you want to play in the tournament, make sure go to my pinned tweet. There's a registration link. Go sign up. Midnight tonight, registration goes to 60. So right now it's 45. It goes to 60. So make sure if you want to register, either DM me on Twitter or go to my pinned tweet and get a spot. We're probably under 13 spots left now. So make sure you guys go get a spot in. All right. Next week, Tuesday, we'll be back Tuesday with a podcast episode. We're going to do like an OG eyeball episode where I bring in the guys that like I started with. I think that'll be a fun one. It'll be a good one. And I want to give those guys some shine like they deserve it. So that will be Tuesday. And then Thursday, we're going to move episode 2, the second episode of the week, to Thursday. So Thursday will be like a bracket reveal, power rankings, like everything tournament related will be Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday is all tournament streams. So we're going to be live a lot next week, doing a lot of different things, a lot of content coming for you guys. So much love. I appreciate you guys. If you guys are not, please follow us on other channels. !SND in the chat. Any of my mods or anyone that's in here, !SND in the chat. And I'll give you a link to all of our different channels. Just go follow us on wherever. We post links. We post the full episode on YouTube so you guys can catch up on it if you miss anything. But again, my guy Eli, what's up? Appreciate you guys. Much love as always. I'll see you guys again Tuesday, and then we'll be live again all next weekend for the tournament. So much love, Mar. Thank you for being lenient and being a little over time. Shout out to Mar, man. So appreciate you guys. Love you guys. I'll see you guys next week. All right. Peace.